when you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Clear
Alrighty, hello everybody, we are back, we are live, and everybody in the panel can unmute themselves. Hello panel, how are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright, so we are back everybody, and we are actually live about 12 hours earlier than normal, and on a Wednesday.
36 actually hours earlier.
Yes, well, 12 hours than earlier normally, but yes, 2 days in advance as well. So it's great to be here a little bit earlier. We have some friends from around the world that follow us, and it's great to be able to have this movie day at a time that's a little bit better for everybody else to watch as well. So I'm your host as usual, Cy Strikeling. Nothing crazy going on here. I did go ahead and record my photography tutorial video yesterday, so now it's just time to put it all together in good old Premiere and see how that comes out. So that'll be the first one, should be out soon.
Oh boy, okay, I'll stay tuned for that.
Yes, yeah, I'm starting a series of photography tutorial videos. The first one is going to be very basic, but just a good introduction and stuff like that. So that'll be exciting coming out soon. So we're going to go around the room and just introduce our panel members. We have with us today, we'll start with Diana.
Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. I am Diana Clary and the Lavender Lady. How the heck are ya? It's been a while. I'm back.
It has been a while, but we're so glad to have you with us today.
It's just unfortunate that I have trouble staying up through an entire nighttime movie night.
Yes.
I'm usually just laid out, asleep. I'm getting old. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, and by the way, a big rousing hello from Sylvia.
Aww.
Oh, we love Sylvia.
I got this thing with me today. I don't know if you can see him there, but that's my Stripey.
Hi there.
Aww. Hi, kitty.
He's my love bug.
There.
So from there, we'll go over to Jenny.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm
Hello.
Jen from Jen's Little Corner. I do debunkings and sciencey and LGBT stuff on the YouTubes and on Twitter, and whatever. If you guys know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Well, we're glad to have you here with us.
I'm glad to be here. I like being here.
It is a little late for you over there, is it not?
It is. It's 12:15 at night. But this is the time you guys normally do it. So I figured that you guys always do it at this time. I can at least do it back the other way once.
Yeah, now you get to feel what it's like over here.
Yes.
That's right.
Every time I've been on your show, Diana, I've got to feel what that's like.
That's true. Oh, geez. Well, we're certainly glad to have you here with us as well. We have another wonderful lady with us today. We have Glober Mom. Hello, Glober Mom.
Hello. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I am good.
Awesome. Anything fun going on in your neck of the woods?
Nothing much. I decided to start doing Minecraft videos on my channel just for a change of pace.
Yay!
Awesome.
So I'm gonna have one premiering tomorrow, my first episode. So
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
everybody
should be
go
fun.
check it out. Make sure you subscribe to all these wonderful people as well, by the way. We have Glober Mom, we have Diana, we have Jenny, we have Furball. We have a lot of people in the chat in the meets here, and they all deserve a subscribe for sure.
Yeah, I am
Oh, thank you.
on YouTube. I am the Lavender Lady, and you're Jen's little corner, right?
I am. But if as long as any of us have typed in the chat, if people right click on us in the chat, you
Right.
should be able to get to our channels.
This is true, and
Yeah,
I will
okay.
after this is over,
Yeah.
I will go ahead and put all the links in the description as well, so that you
Oh,
can
great.
easily get there.
Beautiful. I'm liking it.
All right, from there we're going to go over to BM Furball.
Hello.
Hello, Furball. Oh, Furball has a pup.
Hey, sweetie. Hi, puppy.
Aww.
Good afternoon. This is Snowball. She is my Korean dog that I brought back with me. We're
I
having.
forget.
What's that?
I forget, honey. How old is she?
She's probably about a year right now.
Damn, time flies. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Because I remember when you first got her.
Yep. Yeah, we're having a little separation issues right now because we have a blind diabetic husky, and this one has gotten extremely angry with her once in a while, which doesn't turn out very well for the blind one. So we're keeping them apart. So she's in here with me for this afternoon.
Aw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're
But
glad to
that's it
have
about
you with
me.
us.
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel. I haven't put out a video since like November. At some point, I might get back up into it. At this point, I'm just stuck at home trying to survive. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that either me, my wife, or one of the kids won't make it to the end of this, and it probably won't be the virus that's the end of that one.
Yes, I hear you. Oh, jeez. I can only imagine. Well, we're glad to have you here. And yeah, I mean, you haven't had any new content out in a while, but you've been kind of busy, you know? There was that whole, coming home thing and moving and
Yeah.
everything else. So, totally
And this whole-
understandable.
Yeah.
Well, now you
The
can do
coronavirus now just kind of throws everybody for a loop now. too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, are you locked down, or are you actually able to get out the door?
We can get out. So what we've been doing. The kids are out of school. I have a 7 and a 10-year-old. They're out of
Okay.
school until next year or next
Yes.
season.
Yes.
Since I kind of have to go to work now and then, I don't have a lot going on. I can do 90% of it from home at the moment. That might change sometime. But since
Okay.
I'm the one that has to leave the house for work, I've been the sacrificial lamb to go do the shopping as well, which I'm
Okay,
sure
fine.
is driving my wife insane because she hasn't been more than 2 blocks from the house in a month.
Oh, jeez.
Caramba. Not good.
Oh, we're
not good.
all going stir crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, I'll tell you,
Normal
it
for me,
was,
so that's okay.
was it this past Sunday, I think, that Kate mentioned how lonely it gets when you can't get out. You know, 'cause San Diego is essentially shut down. There's nowhere for her to go, that whole thing. There's actually more places for me to go here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I can actually go across the highway and go grocery shopping, one of those little deals. So,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, she's going through hell. She's not used to this.
No, I can only imagine.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
actually doing all right, and then again, it might be due to my being already used to having to do it basically the entire time I've been on this earth, because Mom and I don't really have enough money to actually do anything with our lives. So we're kind of used to being.
Well, I mean, you
told
could
that-
go out and walk in the park at least, you know? I mean, that doesn't cost you very much. But now you can't even do that very right. Or is your
Well,
is your
we're
area?
supposed to get a stay-at-home order, but everyone's treating it like a fucking vacation.
Well, that's because it's Florida. Okay.
This is true. Oh, geez. Well, we'll also go over to Tornado for his introduction, since we heard from him.
Oh, I thought that's what he just did.
I mean, I think so, but
Hello
Hi.
everyone, my name is Tornado Pelt, also known as Tornado in a Junkyard. For anyone who doesn't know why I chose that name, I chose it to piss off the creationists. And I absolutely love that name and using it to piss off creationists, because if I use it to piss off creationists, then I know I'm doing my job well. I'm the guy who's known for going into screaming rage fits whenever Jism decides to open his big fat freaking mouth, or whenever someone decides to say that COVID-19 is a hoax, and I actually had to not comment on one of those comments that I found, because I knew that if I did comment, I would say some things that I was going to regret.
Understandable.
So,
Why?
if you think you get angry when it comes to stupid, then you've yet to see me. My fits of anger have become something of a legend here.
Yeah, you don't invite people to suck your cock, though.
This is true.
One fucking time.
That's all it takes.
Let me run off and get a cough drop, because suddenly my voice became scratchy.
No worries. Well, with that, we'll go over to, we have with us a special guest tonight. We have Mama Atheist with us tonight.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm Amanda. I'm atheist. I have a relatively new channel. I do some atheist stuff. I do Critical Bitches with Jen, where we, talk science or philosophy or whatever, and I do a TV time show where I just have a friend on and we talk about a TV show, but I mostly do, I'm a climate scientist. Sorry, my dog's barking. I'm a climate scientist, so I do mostly climate science stuff on my channel.
Ooh, it's nice to actually talk with a real climate scientist.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, she is a real scientist, and she really knows her shit. So don't interrupt her.
Awesome.
So yeah, Mama Atheist, my compliment to you when I have to say this. Finally, somebody who speaks English around here.
Can we mute him?
We haven't gotten there yet.
I have a feeling muting won't help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will either.
All right. Well, I'm so glad to have everybody here with us today. We actually we have a latecomer. We have RJ just joined us.
Yay.
RJ!
You're a little late to the party, RJ, but it's all good.
It's really early here.
It is.
Oh, come on, it's only 9:30 a.m., right?
9:22. Come on. I've been up since 5.
Really early here.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I hear it from my right hand whenever she comes on Coffee with Lavender.
That is so wrong, Diana.
Phrasing.
Crazy.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
this big ball of fire in the sky. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
It's called the sun, RJ. It's called the sun. It's okay.
That's just mainstream media lies.
It won't hurt you, and yes, unless you try to tan your taint.
Yeah.
That's
cute
one of those
little
things I
TARDIS
don't
there.
recommend.
I'm sure that taint's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, so we're glad to have you with us, RJ, even if it is a little bit early there for you. We do appreciate that.
You got some
Read
good
our
stupid.
Facebook.
We also did have a $2 super chat from Anamorphic Mind. He says, #Canadian bacon is not real bacon. Yes, I definitely agree with you on that, Anamorphic Mind. There was that.
But it's made for real Canadians.
There was that heated debate on MC Toon's channel last night about whether or
God,
not
that was a
Canadian
great
bacon is
debate
real
last
or
night.
not. And yeah, I
love
definitely
Canadian
side with
bacon.
Canadian bacon is not real.
it was fun.
Well, it's real. It's just not real bacon.
Right.
So we're glad to have you here with us too, RJ. I do appreciate you coming by. And
Not as glad as Verbal is, because now he's not outnumbered as much.
yes.
Oh, speaking of which, Furball, you mentioned you have a 7 and a 10-year-old. I have a 16-year-old that hasn't been able to leave the house in over a month. We are going to kill each other. We really are. So.
Been there, done that.
I commiserate. I really do.
Oh man, I tell you, that's gotta be
At
nuts.
some point along this whole trajectory of what's going on in society, they were really going to have to relax the laws on murder.
Yes. Okay.
This is true.
The perfect solution for that is to move to Ohio and then claim a religious exemption. Because believe it or not, you can get away with capital murder for killing your kid in Ohio if it's for a religious reason.
Really?
Is that right?
Yep.
So are you saying we need like a purge?
Well,
Right
isn't
now?
there some states where you've got justifiable cause as well? You know, you think you feel threatened, so you have the right to shoot them.
He is
You do,
bigger
yeah.
now.
Self-defense.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's hard.
At the end of
it's so hard.
at the end of this, it's either going to be I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to kill him. So
Yeah.
the best option was not me.
Yeah.
Furball, that's my life every day with my 26-year-old son, okay?
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
My
what about
rule
you?
is try to
lockdown
enjoy
is
yourself,
just
but don't
normal.
make a nuisance.
Scheiße. Scheiße, zu viel Scheiße. Es ist voll mit der Scheiße.
And that means
Der Unterricht-Institut ist sehr interessant, nicht wahr?
Jawohl.
So-
From the German, it means shit, too much shit. It's all full of shit.
I know.
All
We
right.
got some stupid today.
Yes, we do. We actually have
Oh,
6 things on our wheel today.
Oh,
Wow,
hell.
a surfeit of stupid.
Yes, we have quite a variety, and you know, a good chance to hit something super stupid on the wheel.
Ooh.
All right.
By the
so
way,
let's-
my camera is not on because I'm still in my jammies.
that's quite
It's
all
okay.
right.
So are we all.
no problem.
I would not inflict that on anybody.
Okay,
No worries.
do your jammies have feet? Are they the, do they have the built-in socks?
Uh-oh, we lost him. we
Oh.
lost RJ.
Oh no!
I scared him away.
All right, let's see here. All right, so I got our wheel coming up here. Let's see what we got on our wheel today.
Oh, boy.
We have physics, we have pressure, we have climate change, we have dinos, we have yoga, and we have presidential seal.
Wow.
So
let's go
Obviously,
with climate
we go
change. I
for
want to
the
hear
dino.
Amanda go off.
we do. We have yeah. So our videos are dinosaurs from the Jurassic Planet X planet. The
Oh God.
Oh my God.
we have U.S. seal missing from White House podium. Beast system takeover. We
Oh,
have
Lord.
a globe with gas pressure next to a vacuum. Pseudoscience. We have climate
Is that
changes.
Jeranism? Is it?
Yes, that one is. We have climate change is fake. That's from a YouTuber I just found today named Raging Rob. He's quite interesting.
That's the way to put it.
Interesting in air quotes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also have yoga to remove toxins from the body. And then we have is theoretical physics actually pseudoscience? And that's another Jeranism.
Can we use toxins to remove yoga from the body?
Hell
I'm
yeah.
not sure that that's how that works. I'll have to look into
No,
that one.
I don't know that it's it's bi-directional.
Yeah,
that's
I'm not
true.
sure.
Mhm.
All right, so let's
Well,
see.
I don't
Do
know.
science on that.
Can we use the pressure next to a vacuum to shoot Jeranism into outer space from an airlock?
That would be ideal.
Oh, I
actually.
see that. I have my popcorn out for that.
So, shall I make the
Is-
incantation?
Is he one of those space doesn't exist people? I forgot.
He's a flat earther.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Jared- oh, yeah,
he's
he's like
It doesn't exist.
in the firmament.
Yeah, he believes in a firmament.
Okay, so
Oh,
no, you
and
can't shoot him in the
Jeranism is
face because
also
he
the
doesn't
guy
believe it's
who-
there.
Jeranism is also the person who got me into this whole scene to begin with. One of his whole things was
So I can
how
blame
he
him,
basically
huh?
was telling everyone who accepted the globe model Tell it what it was like. Curl up with the globe. Tell it what it was like 4.6 billion years ago. The breakup's gonna be tough, but when you wake up tomorrow, you're gonna be able to face the world flat as it is.
Oh Lord.
All right.
Actually, I discovered.
No, the firmament is made of marzipan.
Sorry, I was about to say something, but well, let's just say I'm trying to be nice.
Well, shall we spin the wheel then?
Gladly. Wheel of misfortune, turn, turn, turn. Show us the stupid that we should burn. Spin it.
Something's never changed, Julie.
It is climate change.
The National Weather Service has issued a Mama Atheist
All
warning.
right.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
So give me 1 second here to get the movie up, and then we will get started.
Yay!
You can talk amongst yourselves in the meantime while I
was recently researching that issue and jousting with climate denialists on Twitter. In fact, this very day, my Evolution Hour has got a thing on climate science, so it's right up my alley.
Awesome.
Oh,
That's
people
it.
argue online? RJ? People argue online? I don't believe that.
Oh, yeah, I am such a polite person online. When I encounter incredibly stupid people, I am shy and retiring.
RJ, you should ask Amanda to be part of that with you, because she actually is a climate change scientist.
This is true.
Oh, yeah, but there's a few, air quotes, climate scientists that have kind of credentials in it that are skeptics, but they usually get a check from Heartland Institute.
No, I mean, I'm actual climate scientist.
Yeah, she actually
not
is.
a denier or anything. No. It's fine.
All right, so panel, let me know if you guys can hear this real quick, please. Hold on.
Holding.
Nope.
Hold on.
We have no audio. Hold on.
Trump
Holding
the United
there.
States,
All right.
state to state.
Unless you really enjoy it, then that's okay. But otherwise,
Pick up shit in the air. I don't know if it's pollen or
Can you guys
something
hear
with
it?
grass when it's just
No,
been
I'm
cut.
not hearing anything.
Or something that drives my fucking sinuses.
Nothing.
we're already ahead of the game on
We
the
are.
anti-climate science video.
I just have to figure out which one I chose last time because we're using Meets today instead of Zoom again because Zoom's been giving me a bit of a hard time the last couple days. And
I think Zoom's not been giving the world a hard time.
Well, I was going to thank you for the. I was going to thank you.
Even
for the,
Colbert had problems with Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh my, Zoom kills my Linux system dead.
Really?
I have to change over to Windows anytime somebody's using it. Slows everything down to the point where it finally crashes.
Oof.
Oh, so are we going to be working out the Lorentz Zoom equation?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Great.
The square root of 1 minus too many screens.
Leo Donardo, what's his name?
All right.
As she calls it.
Still nothing on your end, guys?
No.
No.
That was
Well,
tornado. I was hearing, right?
If
Yeah.
you want, you
Wait,
can
you
just
brought
play
him
the
back
whole
with
thing
another
just
video.
like this, and we'd all be
My
happy.
sinuses.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's right.
As I travel through the
Way too
United
much
States,
commentary, but
state
you
to
know.
state.
I can summarize the various brands of anti-climatism while we're waiting there. You've got the, it's all the sun. It's just the sun. Thank you. It's just the sun. Don't worry about anything other
Pick
than
up
the
shit in
sun.
the air. I don't know if it's pollen
Some
or
of them
something
insist
with,
that CO2
grass
is
when
not
it's just
in
been
fact
cut.
a greenhouse gas and contributes absolutely nothing to the warmth of the planet. That's an interesting argument that I've heard. We've got, Then there's the ones that say yes, the Freeman Dyson types. Yes, there's carbon dioxide, and yes, it warms the planet, and yes, we're doing it because of our fuel, but it's not a problem because you just get happy plants that way because they like the carbon dioxide. That's that. Yeah. So those are the main branches.
Is that why I finally got my gardenia to bloom?
Yeah, it's because of all the carbon dioxide. Yes, yeah. No, I mean, there's partly true on that if you look at plants generally, even mass extinctions don't hit them much. That they can weather practically anything. They went through the go far enough. They weathered the snowball Earth. You know, they can. They're pretty damn durable. So are the insects. I think the insects were hit only once in the Permian mass extinction, where they suffered a slight speed bump, but everything else is falling apart. But they don't care. But we're not insects nor plants, and
Insects
so
have mainly just gotten
although we might be
smaller over the
happy-
eons, though, haven't they?
Oh
Insects have
the-
mainly just gotten smaller.
I'm trying to get my-
It's largely because they breathe through their skin, and so our relatively low, wimpy little 22% oxygen level is not enough to sustain them. Back when it was like close to 50% during the Carboniferous, that's when you had these great big monster 3-foot wide dragonflies and
the size of
giant
the
scorpion.
I'm trying to remember my chronology.
And oxygen level was fairly high during the dinosaur period too. It nudged up a bit higher. The big plunge part was right after the Permian mass extinction, when it dropped down to like 17% or so, and you would have been gasping for breath at a much lower altitude in those days. It was a murky little area.
Now, I'm trying to get my chronology right. That Permian mass extinction, was that the Great Dying, or did that occur?
250 million years ago.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought that was the
That
one.
was the
Okay.
time when they
250 years ago? What?
To fuck off and never come back.
Yeah, it's one of the 3 mass extinctions that are absolutely traced, and I think even one of the 4th is as well, to magma plumes. Even the Cretaceous extinction had a big magma plume going on at the Deccan Traps, and then, oh shit, there's an asteroid. Yet one more thing on our plate. Bye-bye dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. But yeah, the Permian, the Siberian traps, just imagine like a 1,000 Mount St. Helens going off simultaneously in a relatively small area for like 1 million years.
Okay,
This is why this 6th mass extinction is such a big deal, because it's not anything like an asteroid or fucking volcanoes or anything like that. This is something we need to pay
self-inflicted.
attention to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there it's a matter of the fear that we're artificially interfering with keystone species that cause things to fall apart, because we don't really know dynamically, because we don't have a complete listing of ecosystems, why the mass extinctions have the victims that they do. And the dinosaur example is a really fascinating one, because a lot of organisms made it through just fine. Frogs and some of the crocodile. Birds made it through. We don't know how much of it's just luck and how much of it's due to interlocking ecosystems and predator-prey relationships and gut microbiomes and a whole slew of crap that we don't have any data field on, because we can't get that close with extinct organisms.
What we look at now is a lot of the interlocking ecosystems. It's part of what I do, to see the domino effect that one thing will have for the next, within one ecosystem, and then connecting to the next one. So
yeah,
I would just like to point something out.
I remember a blip. Yeah.
Hey, RJ, I just want to point something out, that in the last 3 minutes of conversation, whenever this video does happen to start, it doesn't matter if it's 5 hours long. In the last 3 minutes, there's been more knowledge gained than in the 5 hours of that video.
I apologize for that.
It's really interesting.
I can't remember.
Let's rock and roll,
right
everyone.
offhand. You ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready to go. I came here for some
We are not ready at the we are not ready at the moment. Hold on.
She's still trying to figure it out.
That if memory serves me, because of a fish extinction problem or overfishing, I can't remember whether I think it was an overfishing matter, that it altered the dynamics of what the birds ate, so that it caused the birds to drop off in population density, and therefore the guano that they were producing dropped off, and so there's a whole economic impact of what you were doing with just fish that out in the ocean that had an impact of what you were doing on the land. There's paleoecology and current ecology. These are very important, and by the way, are not things that climate scientists tend to pay any attention to. Anti-climate science.
I'm going to disagree. I mean, it's part of exactly Okay.
It's
we
amazing.
actually-
Testing.
Sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Half the battle won. Hold on.
We can hear you. Mhm.
No, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I meant to say it was the anti-climate scientists that don't pay any attention to the
Okay.
paleoecology.
I was going to say this is pretty much what I do right now is look at the ecosystems and what affects.
As I travel through the United States,
Can you guys hear the video now?
I
Sorry.
pick up shit in the air. I don't know if it's pollen or something
down,
with
and it could
gra-
affect not only that ecosystem but ecosystems around it. So just okay, gotcha.
Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely critical on things. And what is so worrisome is the idea that quite inadvertently you can be doing something with one organism that interlocks with others, that interlocks with others.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a delicate balance, and it's frightening to know that, you know, as one species could die off, yes, it's possible for another species within that ecosystem to take over that role and keep it going. But a lot of the times you have the problem where, you know, the food web itself is
All right, guys, we're gonna give us a test. If we could just mute up for a sec. Sorry, I just want to make sure that this is working all good now.
Wait a minute. You want me to mute myself?
Or just you could either mute or just hold on for 1 second. Hold conversation for a sec.
Ass when it's just been cut or something that drives my fucking sinuses crazy. Whatever.
Hear it.
Got it.
All right, awesome. Now we are good to go. Sorry about that, guys. There was some.
You mean we got to turn the science off
issues.
now?
I'm afraid so.
Stupid shall fly.
Science off, stupid on. Change
Yeah,
brains.
unfortunately. All right, let me transition here. and
Put your
OBS.
45 RPM record on and your scratchy needle.
All right.
Oh gosh, I remember sapphire needles.
Yeah.
All right, we're all set to start here, guys. So here we go.
This is Raging Rob. I'm back with another video. My sinuses, gosh. As I travel through the United States, state to state, I pick up shit in the air. I don't know if it's pollen or something with grass when it's just been cut or something that drives my fucking sinuses crazy. Whatever. Leonardo, what's his name? Leonardo, how do you pronounce his name? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Is he on drugs?
You prick.
Or ought to be.
How hard is Leonardo?
Now, I like
DiCaprio
Leonardo
to say?
DiCaprio. How do you fucking pronounce his name? Leonardo DiCaprio. I like Leo Nimrod DiCaprio. Whatever. Leonardo DiCaprio. DiCaprio. How do you pronounce his damn name?
Yeah, of course.
I've been a fan of him for many years.
This is those old-fashioned styrofoam containers too. Fuck this guy.
Since the Basketball Diaries or whatever. Since I was a kid, teenager. Basketball Diaries. Did he do that movie? I don't know. Whatever. The one where he walked inside of a school with a shotgun and blew away a student. Anyway, been a fan of DiCaprio for many years. I think he's a great guy. I like his acting. I like his work. He's not like some of the trash in Hollywood, the Illuminati, you know, this stupid bullshit, you know.
Already.
He wants to do good things in the world, and I got, you know, respect for the guy. He's a great guy. But let's get something straight.
Because you can say it
Leo,
real fucking well.
stand before the UN. You stand before the communist UN, and you want climate change.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh dear. Yes, we had a drink call. Who was that from?
Yeah, that was RJ here.
Yes, RJ.
First off, he's very typical of climate denialists because they're obsessed with celebrity discussion. So you'll notice he's not talking about the technical literature that he will have never read in his poor, pathetic little room, but rather because of somebody that's a celebrity that said something that he didn't want to be true. You get the same stuff with Greta and others that they just go ballistic over the public face of climate science debate here. That's
Is that
part
a
of the
room
thing.
or is that an RV?
He said he was.
Yeah,
he
well,
was
that's
traveling
possible.
the
He may be
country.
mobile.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Yeah, it looks
traveling
like a
the country.
mobile home.
So, yikes!
Who-
So he's
excuse
got
me,
this.
who is this guy?
Hey,
Yeah,
Jen.
What?
Do you know
Jen,
his name?
hey!
Jenny!
Hi, Jen.
Hey,
Sorry
Jenny.
I'm late.
No, it's all good. We're glad to have you.
No problem.
All right. So this
And
guy
the other
is
bit is the reference to the communist
Yeah.
UM.
That's what I
that
call
reveals
John.
Yeah.
it's coming from that same kind of framework you would get with creationists. Kent Hovind to refer to the American Communist Lawyers Union for the ACLU, things like that. So we have, shall we say, our little gentleman in his van, RV, closet, or wherever has issues way beyond the thing he's actually talking about. So hopefully he'll present some of this stuff in
I'm actually
greater detail.
surprised
And
it's not a MAGA hat on his head, to be honest.
it wouldn't be at all surprising. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you've got two branches of climate science denialism. There's the kind of wingnut that comes from a creationist framework that's been steeped in it because of their apologetics there. And then you have the kind of cushy Heartland Institute corporate types that are in it because it's part of the business world that they want to be preferred and privileged. And so that there's a
Don't be bashing
bifurcation. You
MAGA.
tend not to get too many business. Yeah.
I've got my own MAGA hat right
What the
here.
hell did I get see flash? There you go.
Afghanistan, great ahead. Oh my God. Yeah, well, actually, the one really doing well for the department is the coronavirus. It's really enjoying the MAGA project.
Oh Lord.
This is
It's
very
amazing that I didn't see any MAGA hats or anything until I actually moved into this neighborhood, because right across the border in the next county, it's extremely red. So I actually saw MAGA hats out on the street, which I had never seen anywhere else here in Allegheny County anyway. Because Allegheny County is quite blue.
Oh, honey,
Yeah, well,
I live in Georgia, so.
So I really
All
feel
red.
for you. I do. Oh my
Yeah.
God, what shit you've got to go through. What I remember was when I went to view the total solar eclipse in 2017, I went to Carbondale, Illinois, and Missouri is right across the border. And I saw the MAGA hats and the Trump bumper stickers come out there too. And it was like, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, it's that thing the sun is doing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, may I say something?
Unlike
that-
the president, you did not look straight at the sun.
Well, actually,
May I say
I
something?
had
You,
filters. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh well, yes, yeah. That makes a big difference. He did not notice that.
and we'll go
What I
over
would
to
really like
we'll go over
Anyway.
to Glober Mom, who has something to add.
I was gonna say, may I say
okay.
something? MAGA
No.
hat or no MAGA hat, stupid is stupid.
Oh hell yeah.
Yes,
Okay, stupid
definitely.
has no political ideology. Stupid is just stupid.
This is very true.
Yeah, I've seen some incredibly stupid Democrats as well. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
If we were doing an anti-vaxxer video, which we've done on SciStrike in the times past, you would be encountering a completely different demographic, but just as stupid.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
All right. So shall we
I've got a
continue?
comment.
Question.
Yes.
If stupid is as stupid does, then which of these dumb fucks will be number one? It's all coming next on World's Most Shocking Dumb Dude.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I
yay.
will be measuring it on the Darren scale, so
Furball,
we'll be getting an
yeah,
object
you-
measurement.
Yeah.
Furball, were you chiming in or?
Yeah, so far in this video, I mean, he hasn't really presented anything. It's
Right.
other than his inability to speak, make one sentence connect with the next one, or have comprehensive thought. It honestly feels like we're watching the onset of a stroke.
The only point he has right now is his dad.
Oh dear.
Somehow I doubt we're going to have a bibliography in his talk.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
I'm disappointed he's not a live guest. I'd like to have Adam.
Oh,
That would
No,
probably
Jenny,
not
no,
That would be
please. I just
special.
got back here. Don't do that to
The last time the fellow did a live guest, they had to call the police.
Oh
And Diana,
jeez.
nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Jenny. It's yeah, this is occurring in midday when I'm actually awake.
Yes. All right. So
How
shall we
are you
continue?
faring in all the social distance panicky stuff, Diana?
To be quite honest with you, I'm going crazy. It's
Yeah.
it's very well, to use the words of my my co-pilot. It's very lonely. Um, because even under normal circumstances, I don't have anything that you could call friend in real life, but I can still get outside, and it almost feels like I'm in around people. But here, when I've got to stay inside and everything else,
You can still go outside if you just stay away from people.
well, that's
So you can take a walk and things like that. Yeah,
well, that's the
still.
point. Yeah.
Does she need a dog?
And actually, nocturnal folk are kind of handy in that respect. You can go out when there wouldn't be any traffic out anyway, and now there's even less. You're not even going to accidentally bump into a Walmart truck at that rate.
I mean, this is the thing that Coffee with Lavender and the Open Chat are essentially what's keeping me sane at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, relatively speaking, I mean, those of you who know me know how that word does not apply.
Right.
Yeah, social media, the fact that we can do this video chatting has been enormously valuable for a lot of people. It's been easy for me because I went from an old fart who stays at home in his den and does stuff to an old fart staying at home in his den and doing stuff. So it's been real easy for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and hey,
it's
it's nothing that Mom and I aren't already doing.
RJ, what you just said, I'm not sure if that's TMI or not, but shoot.
Yeah, let's just face it. We're a bunch of
he's
social
already
nerds.
done that on air, okay?
Geez.
No, I'll tell you what, 20 years ago, it would have been a really, really different world, where you did not have the communication that you have now.
Yes.
A lot of us would have jumped out of windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was so amazing to see virtually all of the late night comedy shows back on the air from their living rooms electronically in a way that would have been physically impossible if this was taking place at the time of the great pandemic in 1918.
Right, yeah. Isn't it amazing, really, when you come to think of it, what 100 years will do?
Yeah.
Because speaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, whatever. 100 years isn't that long. But how much change we have seen between 1918 and today, or 1920 and today.
Yeah, both my parents were alive in 1918, and my mom barely survived the pandemic. She remembers the mustard plasters they were slapping on her in 1918 for the flu. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is kind of visceral for me.
Those two missed.
Your parents were old when you were born. Holy cow.
Yeah. My mom was 42. Let me give you a shock. I was born when Truman was president. My dad was born when Teddy Roosevelt was president. His dad was born when Andrew Johnson was president.
Holy crap.
Sounds like my husband's family.
Oh gosh, my ex was in a family like that. Her mother gave birth to her when her mother was 41, 42, something like that.
Yeah, my mom
and the age
42.
range that your mother was. Yeah. And then, well,
so
even me.
We're steeped ancient farts in my family.
Yeah, I mean, well, even me, those two, the slimy bastards, when they went to the baby store, they were 33. Because I'm an adopted child. She had to have a hysterectomy, I think in 1949 or something like that. So they had to wait before they could have a kid because they had to go and actually ask somebody for one. So yeah, they were about 10 years older than the parents of the other kids I knew. So that was an interesting little thing there.
We're doing a spectacular job of delaying so we don't have to continue watching Mr. Stupid.
We are, but I think we're at the point where we're going to have to continue, unfortunely.
Oh,
I know.
When do we start having rules?
Man.
All right. Well, let's continue
Okay,
on.
let's
This
bring
movie
on
is
some air
8
quotes
minutes.
science.
This movie is 8 minutes, and we're 2 minutes in, so we're getting there.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's only got
Let's
6
go
minutes
already.
left to go to turn into pumpkin.
Here we go, guys.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
so
I
2
just
minutes into the
realized-
film, and it's almost 1,300 hours here in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So okay, yeah, about
Good
an
timing.
hour into the show, 2 minutes. Yeah, that works.
I just
All right.
realized that my father was born. Calvin Coolidge was president.
Oh, wow. All
Well, I
right.
mean, the damn thing that amazes me is I was born when Eisenhower was president. You know, it's just the only satellite orbiting the Earth was the moon when I was born. I am that old.
All right, guys, here we go. We're going to get started again.
Yeah.
Idiot. Dumbass.
Yes, you are.
Nimrod. Moron.
Good timing.
Climate change is another name for... which has already been debunked.
No.
Global
it hasn't.
warming. Al Gore, that shithead, said that the ice
More
cap will melt by
celebrity.
2014. That dumbass liberal
Al Gore's got more
has been
brains
proved
than
wrong.
little pinky
I got some
people in
friends
the
that
whole
Yep.
ass.
told me in the
Really,
past.
It's still celebrity.
Drink.
Yes.
The thing
Yes,
is,
dear.
the thing is this: Al Gore kind of fucked us because he made so many ridiculous predictions.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, in 5 years this is going to be this, in
Right.
10 years. Like, I appreciate what he tried to do, but he did it wrong, and he
Yeah.
put us back so far because we didn't end up all being underwater in 10 years after his movie.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
he really did fuck us, and I think he might have made people like this, honestly.
Mhm.
Oh,
Gotcha.
same thing with Paul
Well-
Ehrlich, who still is kind of a loose cannon on a lot of these things. It tends to be kind of extremist in the predicting department. On the prediction department, I'll just say big complicated feature was trying to figure out how the ocean works. That's one of the big drivers of climate dynamics, and it was more complicated than some of them thought to begin with. And so it took an awful long time to figure out why, when you have global warming, you can actually produce more sea ice down in Antarctica.
Plus, you have the issue too, where as the glaciers melt and the icebergs melt, it desalinates the ocean, which changes the pH balance
Yeah.
where the currents are. When the currents get fucked up, you screw everything up on Earth.
Yeah,
So-
if that stops, you can actually plunge into a cooling mode in a hurry, which is what
Yeah.
happened when
Yeah,
fresh water
There was a
from Lake
documentary.
Agassiz
There's a documentary
flowed
about that,
down
wasn't there?
to-
There was a documentary about that a couple of years ago. The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, there's been a lot of stuff. Although
I've seen that
just as a matter
I've
of
seen that
perspective,
movie. I love it.
You know how many
Jamie
times
Burke-
I have been asked if the day after tomorrow is realistic?
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Mama
uh,
Atheist, BM
Yeah.
no,
Turbo, I happen to enjoy that movie so much because of the tornado scene in Los Angeles.
You
It's
would.
fine if you can enjoy the movie, but it's just not realistic. I'm sorry.
Yes.
No.
None of it-
and made by a guy who's a weird pseudoscience believer in a lot of, he actually thinks a lot of that stuff is like real, so it gets into a problem. But there actually was an example of fresh water causing a sudden cool down. It's when glacial Lake Agassiz flooded down the St. Lawrence Seaway by 10,000 years ago into the Atlantic Ocean and produced so much salt water it disconnected the big thermoclines that stopped that entire conveyor belt, and the global temperatures like plunged temporarily for like 50 million years. My God, you've got a neat little
Well,
Apollo 11 rocket up there on your wall.
The problem is this: only 3% of the water on our planet is fresh water, and 70% of that 3% is frozen, mostly in the north. So once that shit starts to melt, that's a lot of fresh water. Most of our fresh water it is going directly into our oceans, and that's what it ends up desalinating. That's what causes the pH difference. That's what sucks up the currents, and it really does screw everything up. The way Europe keeps its warmth right now, you mess with the currents, they go cold. So
And that
when the
pH
Gulf-
value on its own is deadly for a lot of organisms in the sea, which can cut down all the phytoplankton chains. And ocean acidification is another problem that's coming about as a result of that. There's a whole bunch of things that should be making
coral
people
reefs.
worry.
the
I've
coral
also
reefs
got a
keep
question
this.
for you, Mama Atheist, about that whole pH balance thing. Have you
go
ever
ahead.
heard of what the flood is? Have you ever heard of the Noachian flood?
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Well, let's just say it would make a desalination event by all the freshwater in the world. It'd make a desalination event by freshwater ice melting look like a fucking cakewalk. Because
Really?
at that point, you'd be dealing with 6 kilometers worth of fresh water during this flood being added to the oceans. And
Wow.
you're the
Yeah,
climate
he's-
scientist. I just
He's
want to
talking
know
about Noah's
numbers
flood.
He's referring to
Amanda.
Noah's flood,
desalination
yeah.
of that and get back to me on that, because I can assure you it is a Hollywood blockbuster of epic disaster proportions.
Okay.
Or an epic
DM me on
disaster
Twitter
Hollywood
about it. I will look
blockbuster
into it. I'll look into it.
Although technically speaking, the current wacky flood advocates argue that the oceans as we know them didn't exist prior to the flood, that the oceans we're used to now came about because of the fountains of the deep squirting. And Kent Hovind would say giant snowballs of frozen ice were plummeting down and producing stuff. So it's a world that's probably as stupid as our little climate denialists.
So what they're
going
really
to
saying
continue
is that modern humans have made the Earth moist.
Moist.
Yes.
Thank you. Gross.
Some things just don't change, do they?
No. Unfortunately, we don't have Sean here to demonstrate.
Wonderful O face.
See what our baby Alfred Hitchcock
was
is about
allowed
to say
anymore.
next.
Yeah.
I was thinking slightly differently. He looked like he was about ready to be eating a popsicle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah, let's look, he's a surprise face there.
Well, just wait a little bit for me to
corn dog.
Say it.
And the look on
end
his
up telling
face.
this asshole to suck my dick anyway.
And the look on his face says, "Holy cow! Look how big that thing is. I'm gonna love this."
Anyway, here's my prediction that he's going to go on for several minutes ranting about what people say in front of the UN and at press conferences.
Oh, yeah.
And there will be at no point will he even know who a climate scientist is, let alone what work they present, let alone fact-checking any of it, let alone familiarizing himself with any of it.
Yeah.
Well, because he doesn't care about any of that. He just cares about the public opinion bit. He doesn't care about the science.
He's getting his
I think you can wrap up all of that into one.
Sorry.
I'm waiting. Ooh, and by the way, I'll be just a little scholarly methods footnote. Virtually all the main technical science papers, both by the critics and the regular scientists, are available online, freebie, full text. You can hunt them up almost anywhere. So nobody has an excuse for not being able to familiarize themselves with the literature because it's right there out there. You can find it.
This is true.
Yeah, RJ, I think you can describe everything that you said as righteous indignation.
There you go. And I'm
indignant all the time, even when I'm not being self-righteous.
So a couple things from the live chat real quick. We have Quit Asking Me to Sprinkle Them Chesticles says he looks like he's punching the old cobra. So yes, that is a loving.
How long are you gonna hold that over my head?
Forever.
Oh, forever.
And
Cobra one time, and all of a sudden it's the new bacon
And we never
it
forget.
is, yes.
Yeah,
And we also did have a
Okay.
£5 super chat from Godless Scummer who says, I'd say this one scores a 9 on the Riley scale of dumb fuckery. Not sure what it is on the new metric system, the Thompson scale. So,
Well,
yes.
of course, there is the Jaron scale, you know. At the moment, he's still just humming along at virtually nothing because he hasn't even gotten to the point of declaring a stupid thing yet, other than just saying that climate science was debunked. We're going to find out whether or not this little puppy knows anything about feedback loops and all this kind of stuff.
Well, I highly doubt it,
And we'll
but
even get to a point.
we should definitely continue on and see what else he
Oh,
decides to say.
damn it, I guess we have to.
All right, here we go,
Enough
guys.
stalling.
Well, I do believe in global warming. You see what's going on in the world? Yeah, it's called the Earth. It's going through a fucking stage, and that's what it does. It goes through fucking stages.
No.
You cannot change
No.
the Earth. You cannot change.
So apparently the Earth is going through
a stage.
menopause.
He thinks it's a fucking teenager.
Oh.
I mean, it's true. It's true that throughout history, our Earth goes through stages, and it's in the past 650 years. We've gone through like 7. We have interglacial periods. We have glacial periods. Yes, it happens. But first of all, we would be on the downswing anyway. Right now, we would be looking toward going to a colder climate than a warmer climate if we're going towards what is expected in our history. But this is way far more than just one of the periods in our global history. Since pre-industrial times, carbon levels in our atmosphere have gone up over 400%. That's 400 parts per million, higher than anything we've ever had except during those volcano times. So it's such a short amount of time. These CO2 levels have risen so high. There's no explanation for it other than it's being pumped into our atmosphere. There just isn't. And it's not fucking global warming. Stop calling it global warming.
Yeah.
It's just
global climate change.
Yep. And we
Yeah,
have
that's in fact why the climate scientists stopped using the global warming metaphor, because it's more than that. It's a huge a huge interconnecting ecosystem. That there's more to it than that. Noah Diffenbaugh, who is a climate scientist that specializes in the drought cycles in California, and all of his stuff is open access. He did a lecture here at Gonzaga a couple of years ago, so you can find his stuff at Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences and Science Advances and all of that. DIFFNBAUGH. Anyway, they went back with the climate data going back like 20,000 years to determine that the cycles, they could see solar cycles and natural variations of what normally went on, and this is not natural. That the dynamic of hot weather and dry drought conditions is really unusual, and the reason why it's unusual is because of us. Our impact of our carbon dioxide altering the dynamic, and that is the reason why California is in a perpetual fire season all the time, and
Australia as well.
Australia,
And there are. It looks like right now a lot of our southern hemisphere is being affected worse because the droughts in South America and Africa, the fires in the Amazon, for some reason it's worse there. But
one of those reasons might be, you never know, that during their summers the Earth is at perihelion, and that little bit of extra solar energy coming.
More solar radiation is absolutely part of the issue. But it's surprising the amount that it's happening, because there are places, especially in Africa, that are going through such horrible droughts that we're dealing with climate refugees that have to move because they're already in third world country where they can barely eat, and they cannot grow any crops. They cannot. There's no water there at all, so they're having to move and go elsewhere to find food and stuff. But it's hard for them because they're already poor. So it's a huge deal.
The Sam Kinison argument doesn't work. The go where the food is doesn't work.
Yeah, that was in my head too, Diana.
For me, what's most remarkable is that every marker we reach that they talked about over the last 10, 15 years, when we reach it, they always have the almost pat statement nowadays that we've reached this sooner than we thought, it is more intense than we thought, and we have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, Jenny, permafrost is a huge issue right now. In fact,
permafrost.
I've been working with that, and that's kind of the thing that I've been working on lately.
Huge amount of carbon locked in that.
It's like 10 gigatons of organic material that is like half of the organic material that's in soil on our planet is within the permafrost. So the issue is that our problem too is, like you said, stuff is happening at such a faster rate than we expected, and permafrost is thawing so much more quickly than we really expected. And as it thaws, not melts, thaws, it releases these organic materials that have been frozen inside it for millions, thousands, years, whatever, and those things decompose and put carbon into the atmosphere and makes it worse. In fact, at the rate it's going right now, in 10 years, in 1 year of thawing, the permafrost will release the same amount of carbon dioxide that China releases now in emissions. So
well, and the methane.
Okay. Yeah. Is this
I'm sorry,
permafrost?
Tucker, what?
I said, and the methane that permafrost is going to release, and
Yeah,
and
it's
then
not
we
just
have the
carbon,
added
it's
surprise
everything, but
that
yeah,
then
you're
we
right.
have the added surprise that nobody ever calculated in terms of climate change, is what are the organic bacteria and viri that may be present in all this permafrost that we're now going to be introduced to and have
One is
zero
ancient
defenses
chlamydia,
for.
and I think honestly, it for some reason that cracks me up. But yeah, there's the
Ancient
Spanish
chlamydia?
flu. There are a lot of things that we as a species don't have protection for anymore because we haven't had it for a long time. So yes, that is an issue too. But in terms of the climate change itself, as the permafrost melts, it releases so much shit into the atmosphere.
Yeah, I
Blake
think
gave us the
this
best,
exercise we're going through with the COVID-19 is just that is merely
we have
a
to
little
get used to
little
that
stage
kind of.
performance.
Go watch
Yeah.
my video that I did on it. I actually talked about how COVID-19, although we don't, people have asked me if climate change has anything to do with it. We don't know yet, but it is. This is just the fucking beginning because once the Earth continues to warm up, the subtropic and tropic areas will continue to expand over the entire world, which expands the disease vectors, especially stuff like mosquitoes that spread malaria and stuff like that. So we will have global pandemics like this way more often, and it is going to be way more fucking worse.
Let's head over to.
I
I think we had Furball with his hand up. Let's go over to Furball.
We have hands.
Well,
yeah, typing them in the chat.
Yeah, he
next
typed
best
hand in the chat, so I'm not sure what he's doing with his hand, but I'm assuming he means to raise it.
You don't want to know.
I don't. You're right. What's up, Furball?
I want to take a point of contention with his statement that this is just the Earth going through a stage, which, technically, yes, it's true. But if you want to use a different analog to compare it to, like the human lifespan, there are different stages of the human lifespan. There's infancy, there's toddler, adolescence, adulthood. So you can compare those stages. So if something that's supposed to be happening in stage 5 happens in stage 2, it's an anomaly. The problem is that with humans, we have observed the human lifespan stages trillions of times over the past millennia. We haven't observed how the stages are supposed to be for the Earth, unless he has a crystal ball or a time machine that he's not sharing with us. So we don't know if this stage is normal or not.
Comes in. That we've got the irony is, if he bothered to read any of the technical literature, which he presumably doesn't, he would know they take all that into account. They are well aware of the solar cycles. There's a 10-year solar cycle of temperature up and down, up and down, up and down. There's the big Milankovitch cycles as the Earth wobbles on its axis. Those are taken into account. All of that is taken into account. They pay attention to all this stuff. They're the ones doing the work. And that's why they can do modeling using the past experiments, because nature has done the experiments for us of moving continent around, changing ocean balances, altering mountain ranges, so that you can now apply those paleo models to the ancient systems to figure out, and you can tell what temperatures things were from CO2, carbon balances, C14, C13. Some are preferentially done depending upon which system is used. So you can, oxygen levels, there's a whole bunch of proxies that you can figure out what temperatures were in the past, even down to what's living in the ocean in terms of foraminifera and all that, and that goes back hundreds of millions of years. And all of that material, the doofuses in their YouTube cams like that are miles away from any of that technical research. So he thinks climatology is Leonardo DiCaprio talking in front of the UN when it's actually the technical literature. Ooh, somebody gave a donation there, Bingling.
No, I think that was somebody's phone.
That was my smartphone. It was receiving a Facebook message. But I see from Bill Bird, says no, humans will survive. Absolute worst case, not so many of them afterwards. I hope not. I hope humans extinguish themselves soon.
Well, I'm a human. I want us to go on. We're
Yeah,
the only
me
ones
too.
that
Yeah,
can
Well,
do
you-
great children.
keep your
Well,
fatalism.
you and I are going to die soon. I mean, really, when you come down to it,
Jeez, you're
we're not.
I have,
We're not.
I have
Diana.
grandchildren
Well,
to think
you know,
about.
you're not going to make it to 120. I'm not going to make it to 120. But we're going to be dead before the worst of it comes. I certainly hope we
Right.
will. Anyway.
Yeah, but I have grandchildren to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, everybody, this is one of the problems. We should do a film on this. Well, I'm talking like I'm actually going to be able to be back again. I don't know. Depends if we're going to have afternoon movie
Yes.
nights, but we'll see. That's the point that we've got going here. Somebody mentioned it earlier. I'm hoping that humans get the point and don't make quite as many grandchildren, because that's one of the problems.
True, but it's completely out of our control because it has nothing to do with our nation.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Birth rate is 2.1 or 1.8.
You ever hear
or
of birth
something.
control?
Just barely. Yes, but it's not anything that we can affect here. We're not going to change India's habit for having children. We're going
global
to change. Yeah, it's nothing
Well,
that
that's the
we
point.
here.
We need
can
a
affect.
we need a world, and this is maybe I didn't make myself clear, and if I didn't, I apologize. What we need is a worldwide change in attitude
Well, I certainly agree
to
with that.
where the people in India and China who are saying, I'm having so many kids because somebody's got to take care of me when I'm old, get the picture that having all those kids isn't helping anybody.
Ironically, we've been performing an experiment that if you have cultures that have more economic freedom and more of security for people, and this has been partly the case in industrialized cultures, the birth rates go down. This is a really tight thing. So poverty is the thing, because if you have no social security system, your only defense is to have a lot of kids to take care of you when you're old.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
Going on what Jenny said, so you have like the Kyoto Protocol and you have the Paris Agreement, which cover decent things, but it needs to be more, and we need to discuss things like I don't want to say population control, because that sounds wrong.
I know where you're
there
at.
needs
Yeah,
to be
because
a
they
global education about things like that. People need to understand, and I know that it's harder in impoverished countries. I get that. But that's why we need to fucking work together. Enough with this. Am I gone? Sorry. Enough.
No, you're still here happily. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my internet's being wonky. It needs to stop being about each country for itself. We need to find a way to actually work together and be, Trump taking us out of Paris was fucking stupid. But
of course it was.
But
Yes.
Paris isn't perfect. We need something better.
Yeah.
We need something more, and we need something stronger as an entire as an entire Earth.
India
You're
is one
some of
obvious
the religious
example.
stuff. That's the thing. You're going to stop the religious.
Right.
And I was gonna
It's
say
certainly
that's
one
part
that,
of it. Not the
again,
entire thing,
birth
but that's
control and
part of
other issues play a part. But just look at India. One of the things, a Marshall Plan to revise and improve the electric grid of India would be an enormously important thing, because part of the reason why they have to build so many damn coal-fired electric plants is because their electric grid is so antiquated and so backward with so many loss of energy that they have to build more plants to compensate for that. So one way of cutting down the CO2 emissions in India is to have an upgraded, efficient 21st century electric grid there. That would involve international loans and a whole bunch of projects going on in there, but it's not sexy. It doesn't sound cute, but it's just as important as cutting down per capita use.
We cannot even get the infrastructure we need in this fucking country to make the change. And that, and we need, I'm sorry to say, but we're a global superpower. We should be leading the way in this shit.
Exactly.
Not only leading the way, but helping other countries figure this shit out.
I hate to say it, Amanda, but America gave up leading the way in the 80s.
Oh.
Yes, you are absolutely right, Jim.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It really did. This is why Europe started moving in on that, like with CERN and things like that. In true science, America said, oh, no, fuck it, we're not going to spend any more money. You gave up your
No, and I didn't mean like that. I mean, we have the economic power. We should be able to do it. We should be able to fix what we have here. No, at the moment, no. We are totally fucked right now.
What the argument that we're really trying to have here is not about population control. It's about resources consumption, and the irreplaceability of the base resources that we have in the earth, on the earth, that we consume to make things that we make and use things that we use.
Well, the thing is, honey,
population control is part of that, but it really comes down to how much we are using in terms of resources. And I want to just make the point, because it was brought up, that the only thing that is keeping our country from doing what it's supposed to do is the fucking Republican Party of the United States of America.
I don't agree. I don't agree. It's more than that. It's more than that.
It is more than that. No, Diana's right. It is more than that.
No.
Because even Democrats can be stupid, okay?
They are the majority issue. And if you look into political discussions, you've got all these individual guys that when you interview them privately, off the record, they will say, absolutely, we need to change everything. Climate change is real. We are causing it, but I can't change because of the party. Okay? Now that is the party's fault. That is not, it is the individual's fault too, because they decided to go along with it. But it is the party and their policies and their intent to make their rich fuck buddies richer.
That's
causing
the issue.
this.
So much of the fucking lobbyists in our country are backed by big oil, and big oil goes directly after the GOP. And then the GOP, although I've said this before, I don't believe that Trump is a climate denier. I really don't. I don't think he's, I
don't know what the hell he is.
He's not that fucking stupid. But he has big
I don't think that
is human.
Bill Burr.
He is the most ignorant person to be president ever. And he is your drunk uncle who is not drunk because he doesn't drink. No, Trump has very few beliefs. He panders to a lot of these things because his constituency eats it up. I'll have to say this, that the primary obstacles to making climate science issues has been a branch of that culture camp conservative branch of the Republican Party. George Bush first and George Bush second were flaming liberals compared to Inhofe and others that are the main drivers, that because of the they have in the committees and the way that they can use to roadblock things prevents anything from being done. So I'll say that as political parties go, the GOP has an awful lot of blood on its hands here in a way that the Democrats don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the other thing, too, though, is, as Phil Burt said, the Republican Party, as it stands today, is as much a symptom of a deeper problem as it is a problem in itself. It just so happens that the problem coagulated, if you will, in the form of the Republican Party. I know that, as I said, even Democrats can be stupid.
Inhofe is a perfectly good representative here. He is a climate science denialist, he's a creationist, and he thinks coronavirus was not a big deal. This is a trifecta of stupid.
Yes.
When you have a party, that will take surveys of its membership, and the survey says 85% of our membership wants us to enforce gun controls, and they ignore it because one of their lobbyist buddies says don't. That is not a party that is run by the individuals. That is a party that is absolutely consumed by its own ideology and its own dogma.
Good, let's move on. Yeah.
I think that JC is making a statement here in the corner.
We've definitely gotten...
In all honesty, politics gets boring for the chat.
It does,
really
it does.
I know.
Yeah, they want stupid. They don't want stupid and politics go hand in hand.
Yes.
But they want other stupid.
I apologize, chat.
No, you're good. It could be definitely a good topic for another day as well, but we will we'll definitely go ahead and continue on from here. So let's get back to Raging Rob. I'm excited to see what else he has to teach us.
Yeah, who's he? I forgot already.
Let's see if we can get longer than 30 seconds, people.
We'll try. Let's see.
Is he gay?
I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll try.
Nature. You cannot change the environment. Idiot. Take your money, take your cause, and do something useful. Come up with the cure for Ebola, okay? take your money and raise awareness for Ebola or childhood cancer or something, instead of sitting before the communist UN and blah 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 your mouth and raise about those on YouTube.
Like, real fucking quick.
Asked and answered.
One of the issues with Ebola comes down to climate change, because zoonotic diseases, and Ebola is a zoonotic disease, which means it is passed on to humans from an animal, is that as ecosystems collapse or change because of climate change and rising temperatures, these animals that carry these diseases move closer to people. And that's what happened with the Ebola outbreak, and I think it was 2014 or 16 or something, is that an ecosystem was broken down, and I can't remember if it was bats or something. I can't remember the original animal, but it ended up being passed to a monkey, and the monkeys came closer to the humans, and they got infected, and that's the issue. This is an actual climate change issue. It's not, we work on that. We would work on fucking Ebola. That's all I wanted to say.
And people who are poor, they don't have enough food to eat, that have immune systems that are compromised. These are all just an incubation thing that deadly viruses and bacteria can have a field day in.
Right. All right. Well, shall we continue on? All right.
Continue.
Here we go, guys.
Talking about something that doesn't make any sense. Talk about something that's nonsense. Something you can't change. I'm a Christian. I believe the Earth has only been here 10,000 years.
Well, that explains
Oh dear.
I get to fill out my bingo card.
All right, we'll go over to Tornado first with that one.
I need to refill my coffee after that one.
What do you got for us, Tornado?
Hold on. First, Mr. Raging Robbie, that claim you just made is nothing more than complete, utter, total bullshit.
Gee, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
Secondly,
He will, don't worry, he's getting there.
Secondly, Mr. Raging Rob, the fact that you say that the Earth has only been here about 10,000 years shows just how little you know about evolution. If you're doing this, then I guarantee you're a young Earth creationist who also thinks the flood is true. And I ran the numbers on the situations that could possibly lead to a worldwide flood, the most plausible of which is a giant ice meteor slamming into the Earth. And that would input enough energy to crack the fucking planet in two.
Basically, we got somebody who has a pseudoscience worldview that is not good at figuring out like how many zeros there are in the age of the Earth, and he thinks he can figure out things on climatology. And I would wager that in neither case has he ever gotten within 1,000 miles of reading a technical paper.
I don't think he's got 1,000 miles of a fucking textbook.
I'm reading
read a
it
technical
all.
paper either, but I make more sense in this fucking twit.
I really wish people like this would start their conversations from that young Earth creationist standpoint, because, when you start a talk with someone, they say, I'm not sure about climate science. I can talk to you about that. Oh, I believe in God. I'm a Christian. I can talk to you about that. I'm not sure the shape of the Earth. I can kind of talk to you about that. But if you were to start with, the Earth is 6,000 years old, you can just laugh and walk away. Because
it would have saved a lot of time.
Nothing after that statement that you could comprehend.
No, there is literally no changing their fucking minds. None whatsoever. So it really is pointless.
Now, of course, I'm a Christian.
To be
but I
fair,
don't
BM, there's no changing flat earthers either. Most
Well,
of them,
Mama
anyway.
Well, they're mostly the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very true.
Yeah, conspiratorial minds think alike. Yeah.
Mama atheist.
Well, I don't know.
See, no, I myself am a Christian, but I do not think the Earth is only less than 100,000 years old.
And that's great. I have no problem with Christians or anything. The young Earth creationists, yes, this is an issue because they have literally no.
Kent Colvin before, and it did not go well. Granted, it was a phone conversation, but it still did not go well.
I can't imagine. So, there isn't. they have no reality basis in science whatsoever. It is so frustrating, and they will not listen. You can give them all the data, you can show them the math, you can break it down as much as possible, and they will still always have their young Earth creationist bullshit to back themselves up, and that's all they believe.
You're just scared by the big evil government.
But my Bible says. They take it literally.
Yeah.
You can't take it literally.
I think it's true because of the twitch of my ass.
Well, I reckon he's twitching ass is just waiting for Kent Hovind.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it wouldn't be at all surprising if the little fellow has in fact relied upon that frame, because the free use of the communist epithet, that he's a young Earth creationist, that he may have been glomming onto that, and that's why now that we know that he's a young Earth creationist, the interesting issue is, what sources has this guy ever relied on? Will he ever discuss any of them? Will he allude to any details?
No, he
kind of
won't.
try?
Well, I want to know the name of any book he has ever read in his life.
I'm suggesting he's going to reference one Dr. Kent Hovind.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, because that frame is readily accessible. And in the young Earth creationist frame, that are people that are not reading Answers in Genesis technical articles, that would be extremely likely that he would bump into it that way. So that would be another little slot on my bingo card that I'll be able to go, aha, if he gets to that.
I'll bet this guy never got through Fun with Dick and Jane.
No, he probably wanted to have fun with Dick and Jane, or Dick's Dick maybe, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When was the video made?
By the way, I read Fun with Dick and Jane twice, just so you know.
All right, well, let's continue on, shall we?
Dick and Jane had a lot of issues afterwards, and they had to go through therapy.
All right, here we go. We're not even quite halfway through yet, so let's see what we got.
Ooh, he's going to get to the science now.
Yes. Maybe the second half will have the science.
And let's see where he gets it from.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It's written in the Bible. Science, which is a bunch of bullshit too, proves that the Earth has been here 4.5 billion years. 4.5 billion, 10,000, who gives a fuck? Okay? You mean to tell me the last 150 years, the industrial age, and all the pollutants, for the first time in Earth's history, is changing the Earth?
The industrial age extends further back than 150 years, sir. Started in the mid 18th century.
Early
No,
1700s,
no.
although the
values
values
in the mid 19th century. He's not totally
when
wrong
it
about that.
started getting serious, but indeed the ecosystem alterations were starting earlier. The Industrial Revolution and the Steam Age were beginning in the early 18th century. Yeah, that's when Watt was inventing his steam. It went into high gear later on in the
19th century. Yes.
It has a long swing. We
the
know
amount
that cultures.
In terms of the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and the raising of the temperature that we've had, it's been mostly in the past 70 years. Since 1950, we have gone up much more, and it's since the mid 19th century to now, our globe has raised 1 degree Celsius, which is a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot,
Yes,
but it is a lot.
but it is.
Once we hit 1.5 degrees Celsius, that is two is we will all die, but 1.5 is our goal to keep under, because that is mostly the point of no return. And at the rate we're going right now, our planet is going about between 0.1 and 0.2 degrees Celsius every 10 years. So we are fucked if we don't do anything now.
So I think we've already reached those levels. We just don't know it yet because we can't process the data fast and complete enough.
Well, as I said before, this is why I am so happy that I have more life behind me than ahead of me. Mm-hmm. I want to be dead before it all happens, because I'm certain, I mean, not certain in the sense that R and Ross certain that, I know it's going to happen. I could show it, but I'm reasonably confident that Yeah, we're going to be fucked in less than 100 years. But
I want to
I
live
hope I'm
long
gonna-
enough to be able to point at one of these fuckers right in the face and say, "We fucking told you so, asshole."
we can do that now.
Oh, monetization. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but they won't listen to you.
Oh, jeez.
In fact, I know honesty, we could all be mostly dead and they still wouldn't listen to you. This is
Yeah.
the people who are denying it actually don't care.
No.
They have
A lot of the people who are denying it,
reality.
a lot of the people who are denying it are expecting the new age. They are expecting
yes,
Jesus
the
to take
second
them.
coming,
Yes.
Here's the question, though. Okay, why? Why the fuck are we? Why is this a hoax? What are we getting out of trying to save the planet? Honestly, I mean, I don't get paid shit for what I do.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Amanda, that these people want their big cars, which guzzle shit tons of fuel, and they want to be able to take their plane trips with their kids to Disneyland, and they just don't want to be told that they have to change their lifestyle to save the planet.
Their Kobe beef and eat garbage food that is
exactly
how much of our how much
Mm-hmm.
of the food we eat in America comes from the four main wheats, and it's sugar and corn and wheat, and I can't remember the other one, and the
Please
amount
don't go all
of
vegan on me, please.
No, I'm
Thank
not
you,
vegan.
Dora.
I'm not vegan. That's not the problem.
But
the
I
problem
know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I'm not. Sorry, but
that's
we
a lot of
consume so much
industry putting
garbage
that out there.
takes up so much of the land that we have, and also so much of that is feeding. I'm not vegan, but we do need to move away in this country from eating so much meat.
Yes, I agree with you about that. Yes,
because the amount of food that is needed to feed the livestock that we eat is breaking us.
Mm-hmm.
We should be moving to using insects for our protein.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't. Or
I mean, as much as everyone goes, "Oh, I'm going to eat insects," well, no. Once you've mashed them up and processed it, and made meat patties out of it, you wouldn't know the fucking difference.
And besides, with the standards
it's
that
still
the
protein.
FDA has, you're already eating bugs and insects and rats.
Yeah, you can have so many.
Yes, a little bit of a deal. Well, let's not forget Soylent Green, the miracle of the ocean.
Well, we did also get a super chat, 2 monetary units from Dora. She says, "For the swear jar." Yes, thank you.
There you go.
If we had a swear jar, we would definitely be
I'd never be on
well
again.
off. Oh,
You know what I
geez.
think?
We all agree that our video guy is one people that we really don't want to eat.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Might be a little tough.
Swear jar.
Yeah, I don't think he'd make very good Soylent Green.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we continue on?
Yes,
let's get to that science he's going to do in the last couple
Yes,
of minutes.
exactly. Let's see what he's got. Here we go.
Damn.
We got ozone problems. Oh, everything's dying. This Earth has been hit with meteorites, mass extinctions.
What?
Dinosaurs. I don't
Hang on,
dinosaurs.
drink, please.
Yes.
He thinks the Earth is 6,000 years old, but he still believes a meteorite, a large meteorite, hit the Earth and caused a mass extinction.
I think he's being flippant right now because he's talking about like the ozone problem, which honestly we've solved a lot of that. The holes in the ozone aren't as big of an issue as it used to be, but I think he's saying these things like, "Oh, this happened, ha ha ha," not really. So.
Right.
That's what I think.
Although there are some creationists who do in fact
much credit.
The asteroid impact. They just think it only took place 4,500 years ago.
He's just trying to be smart.
Again, green.
God damn it.
All right. Well, shall we? Yep. Go ahead, Tornado.
What I think, just a moment. What I think it comes down to is guys like this, and the Joe Blow, blue collar schnook that hasn't read a book since he got out of high school. Or if not before. I think for them, the fear of it all comes down to not just having to change their lifestyle, but that maybe it's not going to be as easy as it is for them, that they might actually have to be out there working and being responsible. and being committed to each other instead of just themselves. That it's complete vanity, hubris, avarice. that these people are just so self-consumed.
Are you suggesting that they might have to actually show some humanity?
Yeah, that would be it. Sure.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right.
Anyway, as I was saying, the whole issue regarding the giant meteorite that fell to Earth is we can actually date that, and it comes out to 65 million years. And we also know that we have a crater. Now, everyone who I've talked about who's disagreed with the meteor impact hypothesis says, oh, there's no crater. There hasn't been a crater. They haven't found the crater. Therefore, it's fake. But we do know where the crater is. We have found it. It's in the Yucatan Peninsula area.
Yeah.
So, even Andrew Snelling is kind of accepting the evidence.
And we've effectively gotten as close to proving the hypothesis as one could care to reasonably get to.
Yeah. Well, I did rewind the video just slightly, just about 7 seconds or so, because I want to make sure that everybody gets to, hear everything that he has to say. I wouldn't want him to be, misconstrued in any way.
Sure.
Can we let him go? Like,
we got it.
All right.
Let's go.
Here we go, guys.
Things dying. This Earth has been hit with meteorites, mass extinctions. Dinosaurs, I don't believe dinosaurs ever existed, but dinosaur extinction.
Look at this guy, asshole!
Explain the current mass extinction we're going through then. Tell us why, if he believes in these meteors and stuff like that caused the other mass extinction, tell us why this one is happening right now. Go ahead. Fuck it.
He ain't gonna do that. His bringing up dinosaurs not existing puts him in a narrower niche. Now he's moved out of the Kent Hovind stupid down to the mainly watching YouTube stupid, where it's a minority position for creationists to deny the dinosaurs. You find a couple of them floating around in the Adventist homeschooling network types, but literally no regular creationist claims dinosaurs didn't exist. So we're now at the bottom feeding of the bottom feeding level for this poor little shit.
He's probably a follower of Call for an Uprising because he doesn't believe dinosaurs were real either. So
but it's funny he said dinosaurs don't exist, but meteors.
Yeah,
but
you know
meteors.
what I mean? It's like
we've had mass extinctions, but there were no dinosaurs.
Exactly.
Who went extinct then? What the fuck is he talking about?
Exactly.
Somehow I don't think we're going to get a bibliography on this one from him.
This guy's
Probably not.
every point.
Probably not.
Citations needed, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, out of curiosity, on the video that he put up, how many people watched it, and did he get likes and dislikes and all that kind of stuff?
He got more views on this video than I did on my Climate Change is Not a Hoax video. So.
Well,
how many followers does he have, Amanda?
That doesn't
Less
surprise
than me, like half of me.
He's only got about 50 subscribers, I think, about 50 or 60 subscribers.
That's way less than half of me.
So he's only a little channel.
Yes.
So.
He's got a voice.
Thank God for that.
Jackass of stupid.
Oh boy.
Well, I remember when Jeranism had only but a few subscribers, and then unfortunately it didn't stay that way.
Yeah, but Jeranism isn't this level of stupid. I mean, he's close, but he's not this level.
Jaren's got a pretty little opening logo and all that. He did a fancy graphic.
And he got a hell of a shout out from Cool Hard Logic.
I did.
Yeah, because CHL.
The closer this guy may get to notoriety will be the restraining order.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that when they repossess his trailer home?
That might be. Oh,
and he's got such a cool haircut.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to
He'll be
keep that manga hat
watching
on
while
his
the
head
neighbors put up
somehow.
their solar panels and get their hybrid cars and do all sorts of stuff, and he'll be wondering why the 21st century isn't going the way he wants it to.
Do you reckon he's just clenching his teeth there, ready for when whoever's behind him shoves it in?
You might not be wrong.
Hey, Auntie Jen. Hey, Auntie Jen.
Yeah.
I think his hat says "I'm with stupid" and the arrow's pointing down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that could be it. Oh dear. All right. Well, let's continue on. Here we go.
Extinction, reversal of the North and South Pole, massive comets and meteorites hitting it, glaciers, and you mean to tell me a little pollutant in the air from fracking is gonna fucking change Mother Nature? Are you fucking
fuck you.
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh, the amount of fucking shit that fracking causes. Oh my god. And does he not know the difference between meteorites and comets?
And comets?
No, actually, he doesn't.
I'd like to point out that all the bullshit that comes out of his mouth has put more carbon dioxide into the air than any fracking.
Yeah, that's it's pretty bad.
Well, I'm no big fan of fracking, and I am very disappointed in our lieutenant governor with his stance. John Fetterman came out in support of who was it that got the contract to perform their little fracking stuff just a couple of miles down the road from me, and I haven't heard anything about kitchen faucets turning into blowtorches yet, but I'm expecting it'll come.
So I think
I have a question
I
for a
remember
climate
that
scientist.
whole incident with the whole kitchen faucets turned to blowtorches.
What, hon?
That must have been really scary.
I've got a
I'd
question
like
for the
to add
climate
to what you said, Diana, that I really am not a big fan of fracking, but fucking's absolutely wonderful.
I wouldn't know. I've been out of the loop so long I forget how.
I thought fucking was just a word.
Comes from, I think, through the Old Dutch and back into Latin or something. Fucare.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Fucare,
It's like these words go through like evolution.
Is Mama Atheist still around?
Yep, I'm here.
Did we
Okay,
chase
I've got a
her
question
off?
for the
Did we
climate
scare her
scientist.
off?
So he listed off like a half a dozen things that are claimed to have changed the world or the Earth in history. You know, comets, meteors, meteorites, all the other kind of stuff. And then he equated that to fracking. Just fracking.
Yeah.
Right now. So
No,
I wanna confirm that
if
fracking
you're
is the
asking if
only
it's the same,
thing.
no. First of all,
Fracking is the only thing affecting the climate right now, right? That's what he's
wrong. It is the only thing that is our only issue. No. First of all, my first degree was in astrophysics, so the comet thing, like, that really pisses me off that he doesn't know the difference between asteroids and comets and meteors and shit. But fracking is an issue, but there's so much more to it, and it's not even just the emissions that we're putting into the air.
Earthquakes, among other things.
Yeah, there's
tremors.
Changes in weather patterns and stuff that are being affected because of the climate. The animals that we have, the cows and the methane. Like there's so much that's involved. It's not just fucking fracking or a comet that's going to hit the planet, which is fucking the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But
He doesn't understand that asteroids are those like bumpy things you get in your butt if the tissues break down and stuff.
I think there's.
He'd have a lot of those bumpy things in his butt for all the dick he's had.
Oh, geez.
JC,
yes.
yeah, you have a point. This guy on the channel that you cited does indeed look to my eyes like Spanky on the film we've got going here.
Yeah.
I
think because this video that we're currently watching is 3 years old.
1100. Say what?
The video that we're currently watching is 3 years old. So I have a feeling that this is our same guy, just with a newer channel.
And then this guy
Is he
here
still
with
spouting the same
video is,
shit?
Oh, where?
this one I'm looking at right now is about 2 weeks old. Coronavirus outbreak apocalyptic vlog. My Brefix, Sweet Home, Alabama. How dare you speak of Brefix? There's a story behind that. Yeah, but this guy's got 1,100 subscribers and looks like he's eating a breakfast from Denny's.
No,
Oh, that's not
eating
good.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Talking about this guy. So.
Yeah, there's
but there's
yeah, I think it's the same guy. I linked his channel in the chat just so we can all see.
I'm pretty sure it is because he looks very familiar.
Yes.
And that's another issue too, the processed food that we eat, the garbage that we eat. If we ate more locally, or sourced our food more locally, ate, less processed food, more fruits and vegetables and meats that came from where we live, it would make a big difference. But we have, especially in this country, the processed food that we eat, we ship it all the fuck around the country. That really is a huge issue. So
This is, well, now that you mention it, Amanda, I wonder how much of the cost of a pound of beef is the petrol that is burned to get it from, let's say Iowa to Florida or something like that.
And yes, like I said, sourcing local food would be better, but in terms of how much we have to put into raising the livestock, feeding the livestock.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Diana,
we could be eating the grain that
If we could stop them burping, it wouldn't be so bad.
Thank you for saying it was burping and not farting, Jen. Thank you. It's not. Everybody always says that, but it's cow burps.
I've been listening. I've been listening.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
There's plenty of methane that comes out the back end just from every dump they take. So.
Yeah, but cows have 4 stomachs. So can you imagine the burps they have?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Diana,
cut and
it's
stuff?
not so much the stuff that comes from Iowa to Florida; it's the stuff that comes from Argentina to Florida.
Well, yeah, I just picked the first couple of names that I could think of. Yeah, but you're absolutely right when you say that the Argentine beef or the oh God, from here, there, and everywhere. Well, hell, I bought a couple of pounds of grapes a couple of days ago that came from Peru.
Yeah.
And there's something that's contributing as well.
Now,
I mean, I bought them because they were there and they would rot if I didn't buy them. So
right.
Haven't there been comparison to the locally grown, locally farmed type of things to the mass production, not taking into account the carbon from the initial creation, but just the transport of it? I thought there'd been studies that said it's really kind of a wash between massive amounts being transported cross country and tiny amounts being transported massively amounts of times by hundreds of different people rather than in one truck. So
it's a very complex mix. The same thing happens when you try to work out mass transit versus individual cars. It depends on the efficiency of the car. It depends on how often you're using the transit system. There's a lot of dynamics going on, and the technical people pay attention to all this stuff. This little schnook is not likely to ever bump into that stuff. You'll get presented in the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and it's things that policymakers should be paying attention to. But when you have scientific illiterates who are voted for by people exactly like that schnook, not doing that at the higher level, that's when things start cascading up and you have decades of policy lapses where we now are in the situation that we're in.
Right.
This schnook can
And we can also solve a lot of these transport issues by going electric.
Well, I don't know about that because
where you're getting your electric energy from. If you're getting it from
a coal-fired plant,
it's not necessarily helpful.
I agree.
I'm in the hydroelectric area, so we get a lot of our power from that mode. Other areas are getting it from a coal-fired plant, and you have to burn something that way. What we're talking about
even with coal-fired plants, even coal-fired plants compared to burning fossil fuels directly in the vehicles, is still better off. And you can use filtering systems to reduce a lot of the carbon that's emitted from the power plant, even from a coal-fired plant. which is a lot harder to do on the individual vehicles. You've got a lot less control at that level. So even moving just to electronic vehicles in the short term is going to greatly reduce our emissions if we can encourage the coal-fired stations to filter properly. Then we can start doing stuff like moving towards renewables and nuclear, because we're going to need both, because renewables are not a mature enough technology.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to say a lot of people don't want to hear it, but we are going to have to split a few atoms.
Well,
the newer breed of reactors are a very different kettle of fish, and ironically, the newer breeder style that they're thinking of will be able to use the old spent nuclear waste as fuel. That's the interesting thing. Resolve another problem in the course of that as well. But anyway, those are all future mixes that all of us old farts will not have to worry about, because it'll be something that'll be dealt with in 2080.
Yes. I mean, I don't expect to see 2057. Okay.
We have a problem with.
I'm still going to be working on 2052.
Can we let Mandy talk? I want to hear the scientist.
Okay. Look, it's okay. Can I talk? We have a problem with how nuclear is seen, especially all around the world. Really, after Chernobyl, a lot of Europe stopped using it. In fact, I'm not sure how much. I don't even think they have anything at all. And in America, we have the same issue. People are afraid of it, but
yes,
we have technology that will keep shit like that from happening. There's no Chernobyl. There's no 3 Mile Island. And yes, was it last year? The same kind of shit did happen again in Russia, but it's because they don't do things properly there and they build it wrong. We don't do that. We know what we're doing here, and we have better technology to, make it even cleaner than it is already. Yes, we have the issue of nuclear waste, but nuclear power is really important, and it will fucking help. It's part
as long as they don't build any more on the top of a fault.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they got to build the right type. They need to explore into breeder reactors and moving across to thorium in the long term.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about nuclear power to understand the efficacy or wisdom for going with it, but I hear there's what are these sodium or salt bath.
Yeah, the tricky part with the breeder reactors is it uses sodium as a cooling agent, and it's a very explosive, mucky chemical. But it's a technological problem. But the main thing is that it generates more fuel power than it uses, and can theoretically burn up any nuclear waste, and so we can resolve that problem at the same bit. Diversified systems are another good idea. We should avoid all your eggs in one basket approach to things.
Oh, absolutely.
And we want to bring pollution down to a level. And anything that requires idiotic projects like artificially pulling carbon dioxide out of the air technologically, all those systems are the opposite of homeostatic systems, which are self-regulating. And you want to have a workable technology that is as homeostatic as possible, because it's way more reliable.
I also understand that we have tipped the scales in favor of renewables for at least 50% of our power generation in this country.
My understanding is that.
And the industries are going that way anyway. When even though idiot Trump decided to pull the plug on the new car standards, most of the car companies are just going to go ahead with it anyway.
You know that he's right now he's using COVID as a reasoning for that. He's saying that if people can buy cars that have worse gas mileage, it would be cheaper, and it's because of the illness that we have. It's fucking ridiculous.
Him and his ilk are blaming COVID on transgender people.
Oh yeah,
go right ahead. That's right.
The guy that leads the prayer breakfast, the guy that
I thought it was 5G.
Breakfast, that the vice president and all of these people in the Trump administration attend, is arguing that COVID is satanic.
What? You're joking.
I'm not making this up. I did a discussion on it on Evolution Hour a couple of weeks ago. You can't make this shit up. And this little twerp, and he's the tip of an iceberg of an extreme right-wing, religious nutball, pseudoscience coddling numbskull, and there are millions of people out there exactly like him, and they vote for people who do bad policies.
RJ, you say you can't make this shit up. Yes, you can. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yes, they are making it up. But
Yeah.
he doesn't think he's making it up. He's repeating tropes he's never bothered to fact check, and that's the core of the problem with people who believe things that aren't true.
Yes. Alrighty, shall we continue
dear
on?
God,
and
why
finish
didn't
this?
you-
The science part.
Why didn't
I'm
you
waiting for
birth
the
me
science.
with a 70 IQ?
Yeah.
I'd be so much happier.
Isn't it? There's several jokes we could make of it. Isn't it tragic when cousins marry? That was a Martin Mull joke. And the other one is, gosh, he's the first member of his family to walk upright. That's another possible joke you could do.
All right, here we go, guys.
RJ,
Here we go.
Sex?
Yeah, turn the volume back up. There we go. All right, here we go.
I say dig, baby, dig. Frack, baby, frack. Frack, 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 frack. Frack, motherfucker, frack. Dig that oil.
Frack you!
Frack that motherfucker. Dig that oil.
Somebody turned it into a song. Somebody put music behind that.
Yeah, that needs to happen,
That's
I
your job,
think.
PM.
Oh, boy.
Do you think he's another fracker?
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
first
definitely
of
a mother
all,
cracker.
I called drink, by the way, and first
Yes.
of all, Mr. Raging Rob, as Diana put it, frack you.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, you need to shut the frack up. Because
Yeah.
the big issue here isn't just the frack. It's not just the fracking. You're also ignoring everything that's led up to where we are now.
Well, what he's
Including, mind you, the worst time when the Industrial Revolution was just starting. And no one really cared or gave a rat's ass about the environment.
Because they
And
didn't
what he's
know.
saying, honey,
They
is
had no
that we
idea.
should be fracking.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just like,
or we could ask for fracking citation needed.
Won't
Yeah,
women care?
there you go. I
Yeah,
did
Did
may
anyone
have
see
come
the
across.
picture of Delhi? That all
Yeah,
the
Mr.
Indians
Raging
have stopped. The India have stopped going outside and driving, and suddenly Delhi's air is pristine, and they're seeing the blue skies, and the city
Yeah,
looks absolutely beautiful. I think there'll be a lot of people going, "Wow, this is the way it used to be." Hey, let's
But do you
keep
think they
that.
make that correlation between we're not driving as much and hey, look, the air's clearing up?
I think so.
I mean, look
the
at
one
Venice and
advantage-
look at Los Angeles, for example.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's been enormous. I remember back when I lived in California in the 1960s that the Santa Anas would occasionally blow in and blow the smog away. And it happened to be that a relative from Utah happened to be in town when the smog cleared. And shit, there's like Mount Baldy, 10,000-foot mountain just north of Ontario. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, now you want a picture of Mount Baldy, you got to shoot with infrared.
But the air has in fact gotten cleaner, and in part because California has taken very strident actions in encouraging better car mileage and all that. And there's such a huge market. They're like Texas on the textbooks that everybody has to pay attention to them. And whether the Trump administration likes it or not, the rest of the world and the United States and most industries are going for better efficiencies. And it doesn't matter what the idiots at the Trump administration decree.
Super chat.
Yes, we do have 2 super chats, actually. We have one from Godless Scummer for £2. He says, fracking Cylons. Oops, wrong show.
Yeah.
And then we have one from Morton Nielsen for $89 dick dollars. He says, well, frack that guy, all to fracking idiot. Yes, thank you, Morton.
IoT.
He is a fracking idiot, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Can we all agree that he's being exactly as eloquent and informed as we would have expected him to be?
He is classic. He is classic.
He's special.
He's so special.
So many people are special.
Exactly. All right, shall we continue on?
Yes, please.
All right, here we go.
So every last drop of oil has been drained out of this earth. We got resources,
and then what?
Fucking use them. We got fracking, fucking use it. It will create jobs. Build that motherfucking pipeline, the Keystone, which Chelsea Clinton is against. Got arrested for protesting
celebrity,
it. That piece of a bitch mother
Who cares about Chelsea Clinton?
mother she
Oh my
has,
God.
Hillary Clinton, who wants to ban our guns, just like Shannon Watts. Let's not get into a gun debate. I'm talking about environmental here.
Oh yeah, let's not.
Oh, for frack's sake.
At least Leo Nimrod, crappy
poster child
Leo
of
crap,
this stuff.
whatever his
My
name.
God.
At least he's not like some of these other Hollywood celebrities that are just doing this and this and fucking this and
Drink.
whatever.
Drink.
Yes, Jenny?
Hollywood celebrities like Ronald Reagan and Sonny Bono and all
George
those
Bush,
other
the first George Bush.
No, all those other Republicans that used to be Hollywood movie people that they elected into the Republican
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's a rhino. But that's fine.
He's talking
I'm
about
done.
jobs, though, and how fracking creates jobs, and the amount of jobs that we can create with clean energy in this country, and a lot of it, like the people that work in coal and stuff like that, we would be able to train them to work in the industry. They would not be losing their jobs. They would just be moving on to a different job. So. That's just fucking chaotic.
Someone can check on the thing, but I think I've heard that the amount of people already involved in green energy, solar, electric, and others already outnumbers the people in the coal industry.
Yep.
Oh, the coal industry is fucking tiny. I mean, we're talking just a few thousand jobs. It's not. There's nothing there for Trump to have gone. Let's bring these jobs back. It's ridiculous. There's only so much.
The thing he could never do unless he planned on obliterating the natural gas industry.
Well, Trump was simply pandering to a few dozen people in West Virginia when he was doing it.
Trump pander? I'm shocked. Shocked.
Yeah.
Politician. Oh yeah.
Oh, Trump learned to pander before he was a politician.
Oh yeah, he tried to pander to the Democratic Party, but they had higher standards, and then he found a really gullible bunch over in the Republicans.
He's a businessman, so he'll go wherever the money is, basically, wherever the opportunities are. So
so he can declare bankruptcy and not pay out any money. Don't tell me that he declared bankruptcy so many times because he was incompetent. No.
Six times, and
but that was his business plan.
He's actually incompetent.
You would think that as close to extinction that the pandas are, that he would pick another animal to emulate.
There you go.
Yeah, but he's as dumb as a panda, isn't he? I mean,
those pandas don't like fucking, and he's always screwing around with somebody. So.
Well, I don't know.
The
I
pandas
think from some of
apparently
the accounts I've
started
heard,
mating now that there are fewer people
well.
visiting the zoos.
Oh, so they're not voyeuristic. That's the problem with pandas.
Yeah.
They want like their privacy. They're not like these randy bonobos that'll do it right in front of you.
Jeez, bonobos will have sex at the drop of a hat, and will drop.
They bring the hat
in order. Yes.
Hey, could we watch like a minute of this guy all at once?
Yeah, we need to
try it.
Amanda has to leave soon,
I was
so we need to
afraid
get
you
this
were
going.
going to say that.
Yep. All right, here we go, guys.
Let's wrap this up.
Greedy out for money, worshiping Satan. At least he's not like them. At least he wants to do good. He just doesn't have it on the right track. His brain, Leonardo, whatever his name, Leonardo has his attitude and his, he's got his mind in the right direction, just on the wrong track. Most of these Hollywood celebrities,
straighten your buzz cut.
Okay, so anyway, most of these Hollywood celebrities have IQs lower than fucking lower than fucking.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Find
this
the
is an area
fucking
you
box.
do not want to lecture us, Buckaroo.
Trying to think here.
I just loved him poking himself in the eye. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Then Mike Tyson. That motherfucker doesn't have a ninth grade education. Hey, I'm the one that dropped out in 10th.
Again,
Because I couldn't take the
projection?
liberal school system.
There we
I
go.
couldn't take it anymore.
But he's gonna argue with someone like me. Come the fuck at me, bro. Come on, let's go.
Jeez. Yeah, he's. Oh dear.
And that's a brilliant stopping point too. That look there.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Most of them haven't got a year 9 education. I only dropped out in 10.
Yeah.
So he's admitting you've only had a year 9 education. You dipshit.
I want a full screen. I want a full-size screen dump of that. That needs to be a meme.
Yeah.
I've still got technically my Dunning-Kruger slot on my bingo card free that he hasn't quite veered into yet.
Oh dear.
Well, he's all Dunning-Kruger, so there you go.
Yeah.
This
all
guy
right.
is
Hang on.
beyond
Is
stupid.
Dunning-Kruger the stupid version of Freddy who doesn't know what he doesn't know and thus can't manipulate anyone's dream for shit?
Well, no, Dunning-Kruger technically is somebody that imagines they have an expertise in an area that they don't. And he hasn't actually veered to the point of where he's claiming expertise in anything, because we've been, other than fracking, we haven't even gotten into any technical issues.
Yeah, another
Oh,
way
I
to
think
put
we're
it
heading
is
to
that the
there.
Dunning-Kruger types are so
Oh, yes,
stupid
in
they
that,
don't know how stupid they
gangbusters
are.
last minute of the show.
Hey, RJ, have you ever heard of the Peter Principle?
Yeah. People rise to their level of incompetence in bureaucratic
No, not
systems.
to their level. Yeah. So it's people
Above
are
their level.
promoted one level past their capabilities. He is the human equivalent of the Peter Principle, whereas he graduated to adulthood when he had barely mastered adolescence.
And there are billions like him. That as annoying and peculiar he is, he's also illustrative of a particular kind of mindset. Somebody that has a very jingoistic, simplistic, drawing off of who knows what, repeating things, and having the verbal equivalent of a voodoo doll, Leonardo DiCaprio and Al Gore, and all of these shibboleths that he deals with, rather than wading through technical papers and trying to understand what the data is and explaining the actual information. He's never going to get to that stage. He's just going to rant.
I wonder if he masturbates with a rubber glove on.
Well, he probably does at the moment because he doesn't want to give himself COVID.
No, because this is 3 years old.
People
So.
make no presumptions about this fellow's sex life.
Well, we do have just over a minute left, and we've
See, now, I
been
didn't
on
say
the
he
air
had a
for a
sex
little
life.
over 2 hours. So let's see if we can get through the last minute or so.
I hope the European audience appreciates what we've been going through for them.
The torture that we endured.
This is what you guys miss.
Yeah, you asked for it.
That's right.
All right, here we go, guys.
I'm the one that had to do kindergarten twice. This is get that. I'm not gonna go into that.
Did he just say he went to kindergarten twice?
Oh man.
Is he
Friends, and he
Is
has
he
to
saying-
life.
Is he saying he had to do kindergarten?
Yes.
I want to hear that again, because is he saying he had to, or is he saying you're alleging I had to?
Let's.
No,
let's
he
set
said
this
no,
up.
no,
He had to do it twice. Sounds like he's proud of it.
Run it back. We're gonna do that. Yeah, I want to
Do it
hear
again.
that.
All right, I backed it up. Here we go. Let's listen in and see what he says.
Ninth grade education. Hey, I'm the one that dropped out in 10th because I couldn't take the liberal school system. I couldn't take it anymore. I'm the one
I'm sure
that had to
that's
do
why.
kindergarten twice. Let's just get that out of the way.
No, see,
I'm not gonna go
y'all
into that.
talked over him again.
He said I had to do kindergarten twice.
Yes, and he said I'm not
Yeah.
going to go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is something I'm going to mention. What we really need around here is somebody who can creatively lose their temper, like somebody I remember.
I'd like to ask, how the hell can you fail kindergarten?
He ate all the
Surely
cake.
all you have to do is surely all you have to do is show up, and by the end of the year, be able to make it through the day without peeing yourself.
He failed finger painting.
He was failing on crayons.
He would eat them instead of draw with them.
I said he ate space.
But the fact that he said that he dropped out of the 10th grade because of the liberal school system, it's very possible that like they taught that rocks were millions of years old. And
Yeah.
that, and
I don't think it was his decision. What
equally and all that.
10th grade is the I mean, my son is 16. He's in 10th grade, and he's not gonna think, oh, I'm done with this because it's liberal and leave. It would be my idea, and my you know, I would be the one that would take him out. A 16-year-old isn't gonna go, okay, I don't like the way this is going. So obviously his parents pulled him out for some reason.
Well,
he had to repeat.
Failing.
He had to
So,
repeat kindergarten. But we don't know anything about between kindergarten and 10th grade. So it's very possible that when he was in 10th grade, he was 19 years old.
That's true.
But yeah, to be fair, I went to school with somebody who made his own decision to drop out of junior high school at the age of 16. So it does happen. And he was in, let me think now, he was in 9th grade when he dropped out at 16.
Okay.
But as a job opportunity, we know that there's an open slot for Secretary of the Navy that he might go for.
Well, I do have a very important question for RJ from the live chat. Morton Nielsen wants to know if your PJ is a red onesie with a butt flap. It's very important that he knows these things.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I'm going to shock everybody. Let me turn the damn camera off. It's going to frighten everybody.
Oh, no.
Morton
I
Nielsen
like
wants to know.
one. He couldn't figure out who the dish ran away with.
That's awesome.
Turn it on here.
Uh-oh.
You see if I'm waiting for my little light here to.
And we'll all blame Morton Nielsen.
I'm getting excited.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Can anybody see me?
No, I'm no. Now I see your face. Yes.
We did briefly.
I see the top half of your face. I saw.
See, I mean, this is not. There we go.
There we go.
That's
now we see you.
Blue plaid. There we go. Isn't that? Now you're not going to be able to eat lunch.
Yay!
I'm waiting for the red onesie.
He's a cutie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Oh dear.
Yeah, hold on. I thought I would spare everybody that.
Well, thanks for that, Morton. We'll blame it on him.
I'm naked from the waist down. Want to see?
Nice.
We'd like to keep the channel.
Colbert and Conan O'Brien were doing a thing on each other's shows, and apparently you could see the Conan could see the whole shot of Colbert in his room, and apparently you could see below the waist part, and they were making jokes about man's spreading and all that kind of stuff, whereas you were only getting the upper torso on the feed that was going out to the public and that. So that is what we have come to in the era of social distancing Zooming.
Yeah, there you are.
Wait, you're actually telling me that comedians have actually gone live?
Yes.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah.
From home.
In this era of social distancing, they're working from home.
They are.
Yeah, everybody, and the news media, almost all of the news shows, other than the official news stuff, and all. When you see nightly news on PBS, they're doing it from their living rooms. Our local newscasters are doing it from their living rooms. It's just astonishing the amount of it that's happening.
I mean, Kenneth Copeland is still in the studio, but there's no audience in front of him. It's just him and whoever his people are, already apart, and he's trying to cure them through their TV.
I have not watched any of this simply because I don't own a television. That's the only reason.
If you look around, if you look around the net, the internet, you see, like on Twitter is real classic. At the first few weeks, people were doing stuff like, well, look, I'm getting up every morning and I'm getting dressed and setting my hair and doing my makeup because I'm going to pretend I'm going to work today. That's how I'm going to deal with the isolation. Mm-hmm. And here we are 3 weeks into it, and everyone's saying, "Fuck that! I'm staying on the channel and getting a beer."
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. Well, shall we see if we can get through the last minute?
Yeah. Let's have the science.
All right. Yeah. I think you're holding out too much hope there, RJ.
I know. remains eternal in my little breast.
Here we go.
So I'm not brighter, but
no disagreement there.
So anyway, 7 minutes now. Leonardo, I respect you. You're a great actor.
Oh my God,
and you want to do something good in the world. Let's raise awareness for Ebola, or childhood cancer, or breast cancer, or something like that. Or
yes, Tornado.
It's not as if we've already been doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that celebrities were pigeonholed into doing only one thing. I didn't realize you had to stick to one thing and you couldn't branch out.
Yeah.
Your philanthropy.
Ebola and the death of most of the species on our planet. There's a wrong balance there.
Yeah.
And the irony would be that the examples he just gave, the kinds of policies you institute to deal with Ebola or childhood cancer may bump into carcinogens in the environment and ecological systems in Africa. You're right back to the same issues that little Bumperoo doesn't want to think about.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get through. It's only a less than a minute left.
Let's let it finish, people.
Yep.
Donate some blood, or do something useful. Don't stand before the communist UN, which they are the New World Order, taking every country over, talking about something that's not going to change anything. And be smart.
The irony is that there are so few communists left.
Drama
They've all
episode
got
5 is
Starbucks
coming up
now.
every Monday. Today's Tuesday. On my way back to Texas, and then from there I got to go back to Arizona. So there's been speak of me moving to Dallas-Fort Worth in February. Still looking into the situation. So subscribe to my channel if you're new. There'll be more videos to come. And I do not support climate change or global warming. It's bullshit!
Is that who's raging?
I think that's it.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit at the screen.
Well,
And I love how he ended with one of the last he said was "be smart."
Yeah.
So maybe take that to heart himself. But no.
So we got zero evidence.
Yeah.
No evidence and no point.
It was just him saying, "This is bullshit. It's stupid. I love fracking." That was the whole fucking video.
Yep.
He is at 0.001 on the Jaron index. He doesn't even have information content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad. I mean, at least there's a certain amount of wacky entertainment value to Jaron that this poor little
That's true.
can't quite.
I think he actually does worse than that for denying dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But claiming meteors.
Yeah.
Maybe claiming meteors and denying dinosaurs. I love it.
-8.
Wait a minute, this guy's got more than one video?
Denying that dinosaurs existed and saying that the world is only 6,000 years old, that's not dangerous. What he's doing is dangerous, just like anti-vaxxing. When you spread this kind of bullshit and you get people to believe that climate change is real, they don't give a fuck and they don't do anything about it. And that's what pisses me off. I have people in my family that are climate change deniers. That have, that have no education whatsoever, but will come to my face and tell me I'm stupid because I believe in this, even though I spent a lot of fucking time getting my degree for this shit. I know it, but it doesn't matter to them. The science doesn't matter to them.
Where are they getting their information from on this, Mama?
Their ass.
Facebook,
Jesus.
I guess.
Tornado.
The right wing has been vilifying education for such a long time that it has become a standard. It has become a standard belief of our culture that education is a negative.
Fucking
These
Fox
people have
News.
done nothing but damage our culture.
Oh, this goes back way before Fox News. This has
I'm
been
just saying,
oh yeah,
This goes way before
in the
people in my family who asked.
since Jerry Falwell.
yep.
Yeah, I would say the Reagan era is when I saw the turnaround anyway, because I remember the Kennedy administration where not quite worshipped, but close worshiping education. Because, well, Neil deGrasse Tyson was right when he went on his rant that at that time we respected education, we respected science, we strove for advances because we were at war. We didn't want to die. And
it was a reaction to Sputnik in the 50s and 60s.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You remember remember a little bit more of that because you're a little bit older than I am. I mean, I was born 4 months after Sputnik flew, so I don't have any clear memories of it. But I read the history books, and yeah, what was the Red Star Rising? Was it, or what was the book that detailed Sputnik and the history of the fear that engendered?
Oh, it's the reason why evolution got put in the schools, because of the reaction to Sputnik. We were suddenly behind the data curve, and therefore we were getting caught up with all that science that a lot of the state-based educational system had kind of shunted to the aside. So I was starting to get that material that was just coming in the 1960s, changing the way they were teaching mathematics and a lot of these other things, and it shook everybody up in a hurry.
Yeah.
And all of the creationist subculture that had been basically dozing off from the period from the Scopes trial down to the 1960s woke up in a hurry, and that's what you were getting them with the Jerry Falwellization of culture camp creationism aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're seeing the terrible consequences of a particular demographic that has had an enormous influence on things, but a lot of people don't know it because they don't ask those method questions. The new chief of staff for Donald Trump is Mark Meadows, who's a young Earth creationist. This stuff does in fact matter because they're in positions of power.
Yes, absolutely. And
haven't they been in those positions for years, though?
Oh, it never to the extent that I've seen it now. That if I were to do a measurement about how much culture camp elements there were in various administrations and in the Congress, it's always been there. But the point is that George Bush 1, George Bush 2 did pay attention to science now and then. They didn't always like it, and George Bush 2 was probably more bend over backwards for industry on climate issues and that than his dad was. But it's all like way different than the basically Heartland Institute writing the regulations kind of stuff that we're getting with the Trump administration. It's the most pseudoscientific culture camp administration ever.
Yes, and we're not going to do all that much recovery within the next 20 to 30 years, even with a Democratic administration, should we be, I'm going to say, lucky enough to have, 4 to 8 years of Democrats.
Can shift around remarkably quickly. And for another thing is that a lot of this stuff is going on independent of what the administration wants to do. As I was saying, on an awful lot of these things that we've gone so far down the road to where now one of the states that has one of the largest amounts of electricity generated from wind is Texas.
Yeah, but the kind of thing I'm thinking about is the perpetuation of the mindset to where, I mean, we're just a pH's breadth from having a theocratic Supreme Court, for example, that can allow the minority to overturn. And I know the Republicans like to say, they're overturning the will of the majority or anything like that, but that's exactly what they're doing by loading
they're
the courts.
minority. They're a minority.
They've been loading the courts for 20 years now.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
I think
we're in Rambo.
with that, I think we are going to wrap things
Mama's
up.
got to go too.
Yeah, we've been on for about 2.5 hours.
Mama,
so we can conclude that the video guy is an idiot?
I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay, before you go, we definitely want you to shield for yourself.
Yes, most definitely. So we'll start with Amanda over there, Mama Atheist. Anything that you would like to plug or have going on that you'd like to announce or anything of that nature?
I have stuff coming out on my channel on Saturdays. I always do my TV time. I have a new climate change video coming out soon. I'm always on MathFix channel and on
Ray Comfort.
We're doing a Ray Comfort video. I'm always on Six Pack, the Atheist Pastors channel. And on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm on Aaron Ra's channel. So
awesome.
Well, yes, please tune in for that one because Oh man, that was absolutely beautiful. I was sitting here cheering when Aaron asked you if you would like to be on the show. Yeah, that was brilliant.
Thank you, honey. That was
Mama Atheist, from one
Yep.
scientist to another, thank you
Yes.
for what you're doing.
Yes, well, thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
too.
today. I do definitely appreciate it. We loved having you on. You're always welcome back.
Thanks. I love being on, and I will see everybody later. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
You was
Have
an
a great
absolute
day.
sweetie.
Bye, man.
You rock, Amanda.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Amanda.
And then we have Jenny. I know you have to get going as well. Jenny with a Y.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 2:30 a.m. here,
Yeah.
and I'm just about falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
You
a
know
lot
how
of my
I
stuff.
feel.
No, I've a lot of my stuff's the same as Amanda because we do a lot of the same things. So I'll be on Six Pack later in the week. I've got a video coming out in the next couple of days on a silly woman who thinks consuming something is actually good for you when it could kill you.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, and I still haven't got it stuck in my head whether it's on a Monday or Tuesday because time differences between people and it's confusing me. But I will post it out to people. I have Shannon Q on my channel and Donna T. Donna T's a nurse in the UK, and of course everyone knows who Shannon Q is. I've also got Raven, who is Jay from Nevermore Tavern's wife, and we will be talking about depression and social anxiety given the COVID. So I think that's going to be a very good discussion for a lot of people to tune in on, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming again. I do appreciate it. I know it was an odd time for you, but we definitely were happy to have you with us.
Oh yeah, you should see him on Saturday, I suspect. Saturday, Friday. What is it? It's Friday for you guys. It's Saturday
evening,
for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have good night.
Bye, Aunt Jenny.
And then
Take care,
does
honey.
anybody else have anything else that they would like
morning.
to chill out? We have I put RJ's channel in the link to his channel in the side chat there. Do you have anything to shill out, RJ?
Right there. Buy his
with
book.
Facts of Meat. The rocks were there. There's also Evolution Slam Dunk, also available. If you like fiction, you can go back to 1872, Jules Verne and the Paralogues of Phileas Fogg. But this little puppy will certainly tide you for reading size at 800 pages on the side. Everything you need to combat stupid creationists right up at their technical level. So there we go. And you get to see RJ in his pajamas.
Awesome.
Oh.
All right. Does anybody else have anything else that they would like to chill out? I know Glober Mom has a video coming out tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, I put the
Well,
link in
I'm
the chat.
just busy playing
Okay,
Space
perfect.
Engineers, so that's about all I've got to say.
Awesome.
I don't know how many of you out in the audience are new since the last time I was around. Unfortunately, I haven't been around here very much because it's just, I'm getting too old to stay awake anymore. But those of you who don't know, Sundays at noon Eastern and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. No, I'm sorry, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Sundays I have Coffee with Lavender. Wednesdays I have the open chat, both with the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr, Bionic Dance, who is my right hand. I don't think I'd know how to do a show anymore without her. And Mom NATO also joins us in the navigator's seat. And occasionally we have Tornado functioning as bombardier. And I jokingly refer to it as the view for the internet. And haven't quite figured out which one of us is Whoopi Goldberg yet, but we're working on it. So if you want to, if you've got the time and the inclination, please stop on by Sunday mornings or Tuesday evenings. And right now we're just basically doing keeping people company, trying to avert the social isolation. And especially with Kate on channel. God, we have some of the most wonderful discussions, and yeah, it's okay. I'll shut up now.
No, that's awesome.
And everybody already knows, so I won't.
No, that's awesome.
God, who was it that? Dave. Yeah, when I was on Critical Questions, he yelled out on channel, "Well, we've all seen the way you look at Kate." You know, like
I'm gonna hop off, okay?
All right.
Okay, sweetness.
Well,
Bye, tornado.
We're
Oh God.
Let's
Okay.
go to bye.
we're about gonna
You take
wrap
up,
up.
honey. Take care, RJ. Be good.
And yeah, so that's about it from us, everybody. Not a whole lot else going on. Like I said, I'm working on that photography tutorial video. It's all recorded, so now it's just a matter of putting it all together. And you can check out.
You're doing that, and then I've got to do the cooking video. I mean, when we get through over here, I'm going to start making Reuben sandwiches.
Awesome. Well, I have to try to go food shopping this afternoon, so we'll see how that goes.
And y'all know Cy and I do the uncalled for on Sunday nights.
Yes, we do
Gee,
have the uncalled for.
who's your guest going to be this week?
I believe it's going to be you.
Ooh, boy, that's going to be fun.
Yes.
And Miss Vishanti, because Ilya won't be there. She's going to
Yes.
be having a family deal. So Vishanti's going to be our guest. And
No,
so
I'm
is
the
Jenny.
guest.
So
She's the replacement.
that's true. She's the fill-in, and you're the guest.
Yeah.
So yes.
All right.
So
well,
there you go.
My channel link is also in the live chat. So if anybody wants to head on over, check out my channel. Like I said, I'll be doing that photography tutorial video, and in the meantime, I got my gaming streams going on.
Okay, so wait a minute, JC. Is the
Yes.
photography video going to be on your personal channel,
Yes.
or is it going to be on this channel?
Nope, it's going to be on the Cy Strikeling channel, my personal channel.
Okay, is there anything, I've been away for quite a while,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Is there anything new and different coming out here?
Nothing too much here. As of right now, we're just still working on, movie nights every Friday. Well, every Friday as we can. And trying to come up with different ideas for here. Trying to come up with some more, getting together some interviews for this channel, some sciencey people. We still have one in the works with a Stargate cast member. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so working on that a little bit, some more interviews for that and stuff, and then we gotta all get. I wish.
I wish. Oh, that'd be nice.
Shifted over. It just shifted over to his camera, and that reminded me. For a ball, Karis was right.
Damn it! Stop it! Stop it!
Embarrassing furball over there.
He was probably young enough to be my son, so I don't know if I should be saying.
Wait a minute, I missed this one. You gotta bring me up to speed. What was she right about?
Oh, this is an old one.
That's right, you weren't here yet.
Are you going to kill me if I tell this story?
You can go for it.
Because we were Blake was on a movie night sometime before Jeff died, and Karis did not know that she had a hot mic. So when
Oh
Blake
yes,
did
okay.
camera,
I'm sorry.
oh shit, he's cute, and the
I was
entire
there.
world heard that.
Oh,
I remember that
dear.
one too.
Every
Yeah,
now
but I
and
say
then.
that openly all the time, so that's no big deal.
Oh dear.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, with that, I think we are going to wrap up. So thank you all, and thank you all again for coming. I do appreciate it. And this was fun. We'll definitely have to try to get another one of these going, especially while everybody's
this was
still in
fun.
isolation.
I'd like to see
Yeah.
it, because believe it or not, I do miss you guys.
Yes.
And maybe I have to work on staying up
And-
all night or something else like that too. Because it's
And for those that don't get to watch it, it's good for them too. You know.
Exactly.
I'm always happy to come
Besides
for
Diana.
movie night.
It's difficult with my work schedule, but now that I'm out of work for a little while, because of the whole thing going on, it makes it a little bit easier. But when I get back into working, that's when it's going to be a little bit tricky to get something scheduled. Yeah.
Is the store entirely closed?
We're only doing curbside pickup. So people can still come pick up stuff, but it's on a volunteer basis, and we're not really getting anything more if we do any, if we volunteer to do it. So
no hazard or anything like that.
No, and I'm still getting paid my full 40 hours to not work. So
well, that's beneficial.
Yeah, it made more sense for me just to stay home and try to stay as safe as possible.
Yeah, it's and in my sense too, it's a great thing that I don't have a job. I mean, I'm on Social Security, so that's still coming in for me, and I don't have to worry about feeding myself and Sylvia. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sean is still considered an essential worker, so he's still working through all of it. So we still have that concern, but we're doing the best we can.
I didn't know the strip clubs were still open.
Yeah.
That's essential service.
Exactly.
Where they're located too.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So with that, everybody, we are going to end it, but thanks again, everybody, for coming, all the people in the live chat. We love having you here, and we'll see everybody later. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Take care, everybody.